Oh, how I wish it was a euphemism for me.
Yeah, you got Jazz Dude.
Jazz Dude's being all sweet, and he's curled up in a little bed on my desk. The 6-month-old kitten, however, is being much more interested in things.
Oh, what was the experience for end for last session?
I threw it in the Discord. 4595.
Yeah, we should be on 4595.
And that's out of 6, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I'll just making sure.
Oh, helps if I have the chat in front of me. That would be smart. There we go. What? What the? Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. What are you on about, author?
Of course it's Orpha.
And on that, hello everyone. I'm AD Springer, also known as Corbinian, and this is the Electric Metropolis video game tour. And today we are playing another mission of the Great Continental War of the Setting Sun, a Fantasy Age 2nd Edition RPG, a historical fantasy Napoleonic type story. It's a song from World War II paratroopers. Oh. Wrong era, but I appreciate it. I mean, not like we know very many war songs of France, other than La Marseillaise, but...
I do remember that one when they go, "We surrender! We surrender!"
Oh, so funny. So funny. So, let us get underway. On a bitter and overcast autumn day in the year of Saint Solar's ascension, 18XX, the first Squadron de la Selle found itself torn not only by distance, but by the twists of fortune. While Captain Cormac McNeil and Lieutenant Diego Borgia, leading the elite company de la Selle, successfully secured the Chalice of Saint Solara from the Tin-Lined Ambassadorial Party, they then negotiated for its possession from the cunning hands of Zephyrus Nightshade, master assassin of the House of Ravens. The deal promised Nightshade a thriving existence under the shadow of Captain McNeil's ambitions for the Tin Islands throne. However, Dame Sophie Rousseau, Lieutenant Isabelle Dumas, and Sergeant Luciano Bianchi, including their respective forces, Dame Rousseau's 5th Company de la Selle and Lieutenant Dumas' elite La Selle cuirassiers, experienced a different fate. Their journey by sea was marred by a violent storm, casting them ashore on the rocky coast north of Seabreeze Cove. The tumultuous landing thrust them into a chaotic skirmish involving Tin Island sailors, Vinlander privateers, and galleon sailors. Amidst the confusion, Dame Rousseau gleaned intelligence of an impending storm of war approaching from the east. Recognizing the urgency, she dispatched Sergeant Bianchi from the fray, charging him to ride back to Seabreeze Cove. His mission, to warn Captain McNeil of the looming threat before it unleashed its fury upon them all.
Tonight is a 12-threat game.
Fighting soldiers from the sky, fighting fearless men. See, if I knew the thing, I'd sing it, but I don't. I just realized I was like reading off a war song like that is kind of flat, kind of takes the wind out
Fighting
of its sails.
soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green
Green
Berets.
Beret.
Nerds.
Yeah, John Wayne sang that.
Yeah, well, he didn't sing it, but it was in that Green Beret movie where the sun set on the wrong side of the globe for it to actually have been in Vietnam.
So, actually, we'll pull to a different map here to Seabreeze Cove. Or applicable.
Today's episode brought to you by the United States Army. Be all that you can be.
No.
Please.
No.
Hard pass.
Can't force for life. No. That'd be a weird sponsorship to have. Sponsored by an armed force. Like, well, this is interesting.
Yeah, but think of the money though.
Yeah. Yeah, but if I did a CanForce ad, I'd have to do it in English and in all Francais. So, my
Hey,
Francais
I'll do
is-
anything if you pay me enough.
There's a Brexit joke in there, but I can't think of it in time.
He's Irish, doesn't count. They didn't do that whole Brexit thing.
Well, the North
Just got real nervous about the border.
Oh, yeah.
So Sergeant Bianchi, yeah, the chaos. What had happened is that, well, it's kind of hard for you to recall entirely what happened. Last you had left off, you had been dealing with you were aboard the ship with Captain Arvidson and Dumont Rousseau to chase after the Greenwind and hopefully protect your galleon friends on the galleon sailors. However, the storm did blow your before, as everyone started getting there, all the ships got blown harshly into the shore. Like a storm just rolled in on you guys, and well, you're not a sailor, so it was really hard for you to keep track of what's going on. Lots of shouting of orders, a lot of stuff that you as a landlubber really couldn't really help with, other than just straight, grab something heavy and move it, or help me pull this. Beyond that, it was just trying not to die mode. And when you hit shore, 1 minute horses are being flung from ships, men are clambering off of the boats and trying to settle leaks, and then you heard musket fire and then shouts of battle. And before you really got a sense of what the battlefield really was, that's when the Dom Rousseau shoved some papers into your hands and ordered you to ride to Seabreeze Cove.
And I'm guessing that's the point I took out my coconuts and just ran.
Well, there were some horses that they were able to recover, but she made sure that you got one so you could ride off. But there's still the ride to Seabreeze, because you're quite some distance away. But you do know that you just have to follow the coast south, and you should get there. But is there anything you do before you start riding off that way?
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question which is going to make my life eminently more difficult. Where is my prisoner?
I don't think you brought. Did you? Oh, you brought him with you, didn't you?
Yes, because
you're
I was
hoping that he
taking him back up.
Give me a check involving a stat. Has a number on it.
Oh, that sounds difficult.
Oh yeah, I'm in dark mode. I need to be in light mode. Sorry, everybody. I can't see the sheets without it.
Yeah, it's only for this sheet that happens.
Perception. I was right. Perception roll, please.
I bear it because, good God, I cannot handle light mode. It's like a flashbang going on.
Considering I have nothing in it, I'm just going to see what happens.
13 gets it. You do see that he did during the melee. He did try to, during the skirmish that was building up. He did try to scamper out, but he was very quickly you have a lot of soldiers and sailors that were around that person, and they're obviously shackled. So people knew he was your prisoner, so it was very quick for the Vinlanders to go, nope, you're not getting away. So they've currently pulled him into the makeshift headquarters where Dom Rousseau is. She's holding him prisoner there. Now, whether you take him with you is up to you, but you're only getting the one horse. She needs all the other ones.
Yeah, I'd have to take him with me, but I do need to spend my points.
Points?
Well, I succeeded and I got 6 stump points.
You did, yes. What you gonna do with them? Huh, punk?
Well, could I spend 4 of those on sway on the prisoner in the aspect of, even though like we know what this situation is, I'm still treating him with some form of respect and dignity, because I don't have to.
It's true. Yeah, kind of that. The fact that you bothered looking for him, like you didn't just abandon him to the fate of whatever this skirmish was, because he could have been hurt, and you didn't know that until you bothered looking for him. So, the fact that you picked him out and looked for him, I mean, boo, he got captured, but you're not a heartless. You don't seem to be a heartless warden.
Could I possibly spend 2 for insight from the basic exploration?
Insight, you say?
Yeah, because essentially I'm going to have to try and, even though I'm going to be following the coast, try to find the best route for me to remain undetected.
Okay, very good. That's 2 and...
Yep, that's all.
Oh. Yeah. With your sway, you're able to forego the follow-up test to kind of wrangle him onto your horse. At the moment, I mean, he's not exactly your best bud at the moment, but staying here isn't a great prospect, because even as a prisoner, the chaos that's happened on this rocky shore is not conducive to orderly combat. It's the only side that's really trying hard to form rank and organize is your fellow squadron, the people of LaSalle, the fellow soldiers from there. So, yeah, he's up on horse. You have your horse and your gear.
Yeah, and I am going to make haste like the devil is chasing me.
One person, a pot shot happens in your general direction because someone sees you fleeing away. They're going to have a penalty because they're firing quite some distance away. Blam. 9 plus 4 is 13. Does 13 hit you?
It does.
Oh, goodness gracious. 17 damage.
So I've got an armor of 4, so I take 13.
So as you're riding off, just shook, just right into your shoulder as you're riding off. And then you keep riding, and by the time you're riding a little bit more, you're already out of musket shot again.
See, it tickles me that the fact of that probably would have been close to dropping McNeil. I'm still at 42.
Oh, now you need to find which road leads back to Seabreeze Cove. That is going to be an intelligence roll, and you get +1 from the fact that you already were told some directions by Rousseau before you left, plus the bonus you have from your stunts.
Okay, so essentially like a +2.
+2, yeah.
Would you take... this is a stretch, I admit. Would you take engineering due to the fact of I'm trying to stay away from common roads? So, like, engineered architecture?
I wouldn't take it, no.
I know you wouldn't. It was worth a go.
Worth asking, yeah. You never know if a DM's going to say yes.
17.
17 doesn't. You'll be able to figure out which roads the best ones and which side roads that aren't the main road lead you in the general direction you're trying to go, so you don't end up getting spun off into Seabreeze Wood. I think you're getting completely lost.
I think I'll cover my tracks for all 4.
Very good. So the target number to figure out where you went is 15. Let's figure out if people. It's possible someone can follow your trail.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be 17?
Oh, you're right, because it's the total number, yeah. So it's possible they didn't. You don't know what their plus is, but maybe they have stump points. But don't worry about it. Everything's fine. So you know the right way, and now it's a matter of riding there without... Because the ground is kind of muddy and wet from the storm. And you probably start your ride in the rain as it's pounding into the shore. So I'm going to require one last roll from you. Hopefully one last roll from you. For the rest of the game. One last roll of riding, which I always forget. I want to say Dex or Con, but I can't remember. It's been a bit.
Dex.
Dexterity, please.
See, I kind of want to stop rolling now because I've been successful twice and even had stunt points. It's only going to go down from here.
That's just science.
Yeah. I've got nothing for this, so... Aha!
As you ride through the night, unfortunately, you don't see... your horse kind of hits something weird in the road, and it buckles in a weird way, and you try to correct it, but you over pull on the reins, and the horse just, oof, just throws the two of you straight off him. Which causes you and your companion damage. That's number... Oh, PDF, work with me. Everything else is working. Well, you're not close to being knocked out anyway, so you're going to be taking some damage. I'll figure out what that is in a moment. But yeah, you get thrown from your horse, and you have one shot to grab your horse in time before he runs off. Well, no, he's a trained warhorse. He won't run off. He's spooked, but he's not being shot at. You didn't do anything to hurt him. So he bucks around a bit and eventually calms down. But you get the feeling that you're probably not going to be able to ride more tonight in the dark, because you can try again if you want, but there's a risk that you're going to be tossed again. And
well, if that's the case, I'll go on foot with him over shoulder and with the horse by the reins.
Give me Constitution running. That one I know.
Would you take Constitution swimming? Through the mud?
If you go out to sea, you could totally start swimming there. Or it's going to take you forever, but, you know.
It's going to be one of those days. I'll attempt to reroll.
Action point it.
It's better.
Oh, and I found the numbers. Your tumble from earlier did 6 damage to you.
Is that minus armor?
Minus armor, yes. Thank you for the hydrate reminder. And 6 damage isn't enough to knock out the architect. It hurts, and he complains, but he's not killed or anything. Hey, Bianchi, guess what? You get your action point back.
Oh, thank you, author. Oh, sorry. Thank you, mysterious stranger from beyond.
Didn't know Bianchi was religious.
That was certainly a long road to get to that compliment.
God damn it.
What, getting from there to here?
Exactly.
But my time is finally here.
Rocks fall, you all die. Actually, no. You go into a dungeon. There. Now I can make
No!
rocks fall.
More dungeons. I'll be outside with the horses.
So you run up that hill, except there's no hill, because it's a plain. Well, there's some hills, but anyway. A 12. Is the 12 enough? Find out together, shall we? I don't know if it is. You're able to run some of the way. But you do find that you are. Do you run like all the way through the like? Do you take time to sleep at all, or do you just try to book it for as long as your body will carry?
I assume Dan Rousseau would have give me at least the knowledge of that she believes Seabreeze is about to come under attack, correct?
Yeah.
Then my ass doesn't stop until it drops.
Gotcha. So let's figure out your condition, because the first roll did not succeed. You do move, because it's moving. Run to the hill. Too soft for that song. That really needs a scream. Do not scream. I have earbuds. Please do not. Includes you, author. Not you either. I can hear you from here. You are winded. You have fatigued, first degree. You have a -1 penalty to all tests, and you find you're unable to run or charge. So you end up after your first run through the night, as the dawn starts coming up. This guy's heavy. You're wet. You're tired. It's cold, but you're still moving.
Well, if it's like back out again, there's a horse I'm getting back on.
You climb your way back onto the horse. Everything hurts. Well, let's try this again. Dexterity, animal ride. Animal ride. Fighting. There we go. 13 on the following morning is doable. I think 13 is better than average. I think it's challenging, and that's what I was looking for. Everybody says, yep. There's no survey, it's the rules. So, you can see...
I'm going to compensate. I'm going to compensate because I'm going to need it.
Oh yeah, you have some points. Yes. Compensate a bit.
I'm just going to let you do one go.
That's 3. Very good. So yeah, you see the gates of Seabreeze Cove in the distance.
As I continue to charge forward, I am going to aim my rifle in the air and fire.
Kabam! Loud pack comes out, which stirs the city guard at the gate. Start lining up and preparing to bar whoever's on the horse. Start riding hard and fast toward Heather Grove and the mire. A few people are looking out the windows in this morning, seeing who's fired their gun. There's people out there, some people meandering who are looking at you. You are in uniform, as I recall, yes?
I am, yes.
The regular folk do give you confused looks, and they kind of look to the guard as you're running between the few houses. And then the gold coats of the city guard start to bar your way. Then you see a blue coat among their number. As they're like starting to challenge you and say, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" One of them calls out, "Sergeant Bianchi, what are you doing here?"
Prepare the eastern walls for defense. Where's the captain?
Give me a communication check.
Would you take leadership?
I would. Uh, 12's enough, as they recognize who you are, and even though they're not strictly under your direct command, they take the hint that whatever this is important. So,
I think I'll put it into hidden message. Like, there's not much hidden there, but the fact that I'm asking for the captain is like, where is he? Like, hurry up.
he's down by the summer ward, south end of the city. Open that gate right now. They kind of move out of the way of the gate and pull aside the bit that would slow people from charging through.
Then I'm charging through to the summer ward, hoping that this blue coat at least follows the instructions to some degree.
As you're riding away, you can already see him trying to tell some of the city guard to pass it along to the other people. And you ride through town, past Northgate, bit past the Moondocks, across the bridge, West Dock, past the park where you see there's a lot of people in prayer near one of the great trees. And you ride past the South Dock, and you can see it's here that you start seeing a lot more blue coats and gray coats, because this is where the bulk of the remaining forces are. The others seem to be dotted out with the city guard, rather than trying to split up the entire what few soldiers they have too much.
I'll stop by a relatively large, like a couple of people-sized group of blue coats. Where's Captain and Lieutenant Borgia?
Where would they be this morning? As the two of you were reminiscing about your wonderful time at Mount Iceheart.
Well, we did have a trial to attend, did we not?
Right, yeah. This morning was the hearing on the Continental system.
They're at the magistrate's office, Sergeant.
Directions.
This way, and they help you with your prisoner. They offer to take him into the camp, so you're not hauling him around. Actually, they'll take your horse and just walk you over there because it's not that far.
But yeah, I'll hand the prisoner off to some blue coats, and they can jail him, restrain him, whatever they wish with him. I've got something I need to do.
So, the camera swings over to, as it were, to Borgia and McNeil, as the two of you are kind of, you came in that morning, you're told by the sergeant at arms for the magistrate's office that, you'll be called up by one of the magistrates, at a certain time. So they're going through some of the initial preamble that they do. So it shouldn't be more than like 30 minutes to an hour. More likely 15, he lets you know, but sometimes someone makes some legal argument or some such, and there's not much one can do.
That storm last night was really something, wasn't it, Diego? Reminds me of that time we were on Mount Iceheart.
I'd rather we didn't.
Right you are. Oh well, paperwork.
Make way! Make way! You hear shouting from the door as some blue coats are escorting Sergeant Bianchi up into your area, and he's dripping in water, like he's soaked to the bone.
Luciano, what's happened?
Reporting from north of Seabreeze. The ship hit rocks, We came under attack from Vinland and Tin Isle. I come with documentation from the dam.
Oh, I'll correct you. I remember the Vinlanders were your guys. They're the people you
Oh,
hired.
sorry, yeah. We're under attack from Tin Islanders. I have documentation from the dam. We're expecting an attack from the east, and
At ease, at ease. Give me the document.
I'll hand it over and just look over to Diego. Do you know how hard it is to shipwreck, run, and then ride constant?
Come on, Sergeant, let's get you to a chair before you fall over. Says some of the guys who basically have, because you couldn't run, they basically grabbed you up by your arms and just started helping you run to the courthouse. And then
Get
Give
this
him,
man,
give him some water.
get this man dried off into some good, dry, clean uniforms.
Sir,
I informed the guard at the north to start setting up a watch or troops along the eastern walls as I entered.
Well, the guard will be as compliant. Won't be as compliant, I assume.
A blue coat, sir, one of ours.
Good. Okay. I'll see what I can do from here on out. Take a rest, soldier.
He's just gonna nod and just walk out the room. Like, where's the nearest bench?
come on, Sergeant. The guys with you kind of help you find somewhere to sit down and give you a chance to catch your breath for a second before you can get up and get changed elsewhere.
Oh, Bianchi, you said your ship was in a wreck?
Yes, we were chasing the Tin Island ship, but unfortunately the weather and the ambush or the conflict left us wrecked.
And Isabel, does she live?
Both her and her cuirassiers and the dam and her men are north of the city. They were assaulted by Tin Islanders.
Small comforts, I suppose. Okay, I'll read the letter.
Give me intelligence.
Captain, recommend I get my voltigeurs and I out there scouting, learn more about the enemy's numbers and positions.
Sounds good. Set up a picket the fence somewhere about 100 meters away from the city walls and see if you can spot anything.
Yep, Diego will gather the rifles for an actual mission to do what they do.
I'm gonna AP this. Does a 12 do it?
A 12 will do it. Yeah, she made sure it was relatively straightforward.
Okay.
According to her estimation, from some papers that were gathered from the galleon sloop of war, some of the stuff had fallen off of it, and during the melee and the skirmish, some of those were captured by her forces. She examined them and found that it suggested that the Greenwind was waiting for a signal not from the city guard, but from a member from the. I need to be at this map.
Embassy?
No. From the Coral Haven, the 22nd Coral Haven.
Okay.
Which, to her estimation, is a force of some of at least 100 to 200 soldiers of their guard.
Guard, so I can assume highly trained soldiers?
You didn't write that.
Okay, no, this is just me making assumptions. A force of 100 to 200 could be very elite, or it could be a rabble of peasants that took up weapons. Okay.
And according to the note, it looks like, as you compare the dates, it looks like you have about 2 days before they arrive.
Okay, where the hell is she? How far away is she from town?
She's about day and a half by horse.
How many troops with her?
175 give or take, plus the privateers that are with her.
Okay, so casualties. Did we have any?
She did not write that. Her only thing was to let you know that you're in danger.
Yeah, we got shit incoming. Okay. Oh, I'm thinking, should we send someone up to go rescue her and the others, or could be awkward.
Well, I mean, right now with the Dom and Isabel gone, we've only got like 75, 80 troopers between me and I can never read his name.
Safwan.
Safwan's forces.
Right, but we have walls.
Right. For all the good they'll do us if they're coming up artillery. Remember, that was these walls' big weakness.
Right.
So, but yeah, my whole point was I don't know that we have enough men to both hold the town and go rescue. You know what I mean?
We need to choose.
But well, we also need to be aware that if we choose to go rescue, we're not leaving anybody behind to strengthen the will of the city guard to resist.
Okay, what do you suggest, Diego?
Diego's gone. He's gone to try and scout and find the location of the enemy.
Gosh darn it. Okay. I'll send a couple of runners out requesting a meeting with Diego and with Safwan. See if we can't get I'll try and see if they can catch you before you actually go out. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's not that far because you're able to get a runner because you're in this building here. He went to these collection of buildings over here. So
yeah, I'm assuming we've tagged the now empty 10 Islander embassy buildings as the future headquarters for the Galleon forces in this town. It's very convenient. It's near the magistrate's office. It's been abandoned. No one's using it.
Yes, I should like you and Safwan to be at a what senior officers I have meeting.
All right.
So
Diego will leave orders with his sergeants to get everybody packed up and ready with 3 days rations and make sure all the horses are in good shape, powder's dry.
very good. And Bianchi, you find he's BRB anyway, so it's good. In very quick order, you're able to get that sorted. Your volunteers are glad to be. On the one hand, they're glad to have something to do soon,
Right.
rather than play city guard. Because no, they're
not really what they're
not
for.
the militia anymore.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Safwan, how many men do you command?
About some 50 soldiers, sir.
And Diego, you have 25, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, here's
I
the
think
situation.
we're a little bit over strength, but I don't remember how that's divided, so we'll just say 25.
25 is about the right number
situation.
for a
Yeah.
light dragoon unit.
I'll give Safwan the lowdown of the situation, what the message from Dame Rousseau said, and how we're going to be stricken soon. So, here I am asking, what should we do? Do you guys think, as senior officers, that it is worth it to try and rescue Dumas and Rousseau, thus leaving this town to the enemy's will? Or should we stay and hold the gates?
I think Rousseau and is Isabel's last name?
Dumas.
Dumas. Rousseau and Dumas are both experienced officers with not just training but combat experience. If we can manage to hold the town, I'm sure that they will start moving our way in light of this intelligence as soon as possible. If we can hold here, we might be able to effectively pin the enemy against the walls and Rousseau and Dumas' forces as they return back.
That is, unless the enemy is smart enough to see that a part of the force has been cut off and they strike them isolated.
Still, if we're talking about 100 to 200 guardsman force, they would be coming up against roughly an equivalent number of our forces under Rousseau and Dumas, who were out there with about 175.
We
So
must get a message out to headquarters. We're still holding the town, and yet they are still lagging behind us. I think they need to hurry up slightly, otherwise not only will our problem be 200 soldiers, we might be facing off against 2,000. Or more.
Bianchi, do you know? Well, oh no, he's not here. Did Bianchi report on the galleon frigate that they were trying to go out and help? Do we know if
Did
it
he?
cut away?
Did it?
Give me perception.
12?
Evans's.
Yeah, you both heard him say that there was wreck in a storm, and then you recall that any ship out in this would have to come to shore. Whether it was wrecked, he said his ship wrecked, and that was the Vinlander privateer, but you don't know the status of the of your messenger boat, other than to know that they are there in the fighting. But exactly what happened, it would seem to you, from a perception empathy side of it, that Dom Rousseau prioritized you being alerted to the threat coming to you rather than giving a full detailed report of her situation, partially because she probably didn't know everything that was happening yet anyway. So she prioritized warning you of that information. If there's follow-up runners, you might learn more over the next couple days. So you might get more information, but at this moment you know very little, and it's likely she didn't know a whole lot either. Dragoons do not do well with beach landings, especially when they're unscheduled ones.
Okay, yes, we can assume that the ship either dry docked itself somewhere or beached itself somewhere, or it has been destroyed by the storm.
You might want to figure out your stunt points for Borgia.
Oh, did he make it?
Yeah, he made it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know if 11 was enough, or if we got it because of Cormac's 12. I don't know what to do with these necessarily. How about some extra information? Diego has spent many a year in a seaside, small port, and his family's a trading family. All sorts about things, of ships and storms and whatnot.
A couple things jump to your mind. If the boat was unharmed, you think Bianchi, even as just a sergeant, would have seen a ship sailing away, and he probably would have mentioned it. Secondly, the three ships involved are all tiny single masters,
Right.
sloops. So sloops with the storm that intense, no, you find a port. You do not stay on the sea, unless you're an exceptional sailor, which galleons are pretty good at sailing. But the good sailors don't go in the small boats, unfortunately.
Okay. And I'll just assist McNeil on his next roll with the 1, so he'll get a +1.
Eventually see Sergeant Bianchi come in, dry and a little... you're still winded, because you need a full day's rest for that to go away. But I think a breather gets rid of wind.
Yeah, breather gets rid of fatigue. Or no, it's a long rest. I think lowers your fatigue levels.
Oh no, breather gets rid of winded. So you have 5 minutes to rest. You're able to kind of you're able to come up into the what looks to be what would have been an ambassadorial house, but has since been co-opted by the 7th Corps.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like bat away the medical person. Yes, I know what. Give it here. I'm gonna just pull the bullet out. Here, take that.
Better yet, stick your finger inside the wound and pull it out.
I mean, sure. Here, have a gift.
You recover 5 plus con plus your level and health.
Oh, I regain 9.
Sergeant, Safwan says as you walk in, just acknowledging that you're there.
Stefan, do you have any men who you consider a very good rider or exceptionally stealthy?
I got a couple of courier riders in my number, sir.
Try and send one of them to locate headquarters and bring a written note to headquarters saying that they need to hurry. I
Will
think
do.
the sooner we get reinforcements, the better. I shall write up a note for you after our meeting here is done.
Yes, sir.
In the meantime, I suppose we ought to get ready for battle. Lieutenant Safwan, I want you and your men on firing drills twice a day. Try not to disturb the citizenry too much if you can, but we need to get ready. Bayonet drills as well.
We should make sure that the GM. I think you said there were cannons on the walls, or were the cannons on this town directed seaward?
They're directed seaward.
Seaward, yeah.
Okay.
Bianchi.
We might. Yeah.
Bianchi, you're an engineer, right? Or you know something about engineering, is that correct?
That, and I could probably pick up a cannon if you needed me to, sir.
Well, I'd like you to be put in charge of overseeing the defenses around the gates and crucial points of the wall where they might strike. If you manage to move some of the naval batteries up to the walls, that's great, but not mandatory, perhaps. I know that they are heavy and they may require more manpower than we currently have. But I want you to try and see what you can do to reinforce the walls against any protections against sappers or other sorts of erosion which might damage the wall. The gates as well. I don't know if we have any. Do we have any boiling oil on them?
That won't be necessary, sir. Gates are easy to defend. These walls, however, are not designed for modern artillery.
Yeah.
So-
Traditional siege techniques, I think they should be fine, but yeah, the artillery is going to be
I
their
know,
big
but
weakness.
try and reinforce them as much as you can. Brace them against cannon shot, whatever you can do, just to give them a couple more minutes of lasting time. Because
And
the
don't-
current objective is that we need to last out.
And don't forget our 2 horse guns. They're light, but they can probably be more quickly and easily placed on towers if we need them to.
Exactly.
Sir, may I requisition wagons and heavy building supplies?
As far as I'm concerned, you have my permission. Speak to Chief Magistrate Swiftwind, and with regards to the heavy building supplies, and she may be able to give you some. I'll also
And to-
give you a written note from me saying that you have my permission to do so. Do note to her that she will be paid back for anything that is expended in these in this defense. As for the wagons, I think we should have some in our caravans.
Recommend we see if she'll issue orders to give to get the guard fully on our side. I
I'll
don't think
see
there should be a
about.
problem since it's 10 islanders and not or their countrymen moving in. And remember, we don't have a lot of wagon transport. We're all horse mounted.
I'll see about. I'll speak to her actually about the building supplies then, and about the guard.
Oh,
Hopefully, we
sir,
can get them on our side. Yes.
I've only just obviously returned to the conversation after a quick breather and a change. What is the situation?
The situation is that we are going to be attacked. I sought advice here from my lieutenants on whether or not we should rescue the Dame Rousseau, and Lieutenant Dumas, but after thorough judgment, we have decided that they are competent enough to return on their own, and we should not so easily give up this town in the hands of the enemy. Therefore, we are staying here and defending.
I would recommend that we also send riders to Rousseau and Dumas to ask them to hurry as much as possible. Riders might also be able to scout quick routes. We have no idea exactly where the majority of the 7th Corps is, but we definitely know where they are.
Could I give them the route that I took?
Give me. I want to say communication. I might be wrong on that. Might be intelligence. Yeah, give me communication. Leadership, actually. Directing or guiding.
So that's a 15.
15 does it. As you're able to recount the route you took.
Saffron, do you think you can spare another courier?
That's what they're for, sir.
Great. All right. Diego, you have your orders. Saffron, you as well. Get the men primed and ready to go. And let's see what we can do. Bianchi, head with me to the Chief Magistrate's office. I'll see about getting you your supplies and manpower to help you out in your efforts to bolster the city walls.
Yes, sir.
Diego will
dismiss-
run back out and get his people moving.
Which side of this equation do you wish to... Which part of this equation do you wish to resolve first? Borgia's problem or
Go
Neil's
take
problem?
Diego first. I gotta take out the garbage.
Very good. Borgia.
Yeah.
So you're assembling your folk to sally forth?
Yep, we're going to go out in the field and do what we're best at, which is scouting and seeing if we can figure out where they are, when they'll get here, how many of them there are, and hopefully figuring out a way to harry them a bit.
Give me intelligence military lore as you begin figuring out where a good position east of town would be.
Well, and I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not trying to set up a static position. I'm using the rifles / voltigeurs as a scouting force.
Right.
So we're keeping mobile. 16.
16 does it. So, a little bit of countryside. What's wrong? It's to be green. Wait, you're
And
green.
again, at first, we're not trying to directly engage. We're trying to find them and
I get you.
yeah.
This isn't a true opening stage.
Yep.
This is just making sure your
We're
troops
doing-
don't go in
yeah.
the wrong. You don't put your troops in the wrong spot where their gray coats stand against a blue background or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, hooray, we're motion. They see us. Oh, maybe we shouldn't have standing next to all those trees.
Oh yeah, and Diego's definitely not in his Shaco anymore. He's got his dark colored slouch hat on.
So you're able to direct your troops perfectly fine. And now, another roll to ask of you. Let's see. You're trying to go somewhere where you won't be seen, basically, like good vantage point.
Yeah.
So I'll say stealth dexterity.
I do get a free dex stealth reroll if I need it from scouting.
I will say to you that a 12 would be an average roll.
Okay, let's see what we can get. Downside is I have to stick with the second roll unless I action point it. 17.
17 is formidable. That's quite difficult for people to see. Have any low riders? No, you do not. So you're able to direct your men. You're able to find yourself somewhere safe to hide and spy from without giving yourself away. Some time will pass as you ride off, and then
Yeah, if they're
I
2
would
days away, I figure.
Hmm?
That yeah, if they're 2 days away, I figure they're not like right there.
Yeah, it's gonna take you some time to ride out to where they are. Last thing I'll ask of you. One of the last things.
Before the dungeon crawl begins.
A rock trap. No.
Ah!
Oh, traps is dexterity. Detecting and disarming. Detecting and disarming? Okay, Fantasy Age.
Maybe because you're feeling along the way. I don't know.
I
That'd be
suppose.
perception.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be touching, right? So, I don't know. I didn't write the dang thing. I just run it. For now. Give me. Perception searching. Searching or seeing.
I think we'll do seeing, so I can use my spyglass to get a little +1, making sure to keep it shaded so it doesn't reflect and reveal my position. 17. Good rolls, but note the absence of stunt points.
Yeah. So you and your voltageers ride out. And it won't be until that night, as you kind of ride in darkness for a little bit. This area is fairly hilly, and if you're kind of south of the main Seabreeze wood, but you can kind of use the hills and their undulations to kind of very carefully peek over a hill and then go back into the next one and keep riding over and over. But eventually, it's getting to a point where some of your troops are starting to wonder whether or not there's anything to find out here. But then again, like you said, these guys are supposedly 2 days away, so it might take a bit to see them. And that's where you kind of come over a rise, and you can see, as you take out spyglass, you can see a bit of light, and you kind of check at first, make sure it's not just some small village or some festival or religious rite or something. And you're able to spy campfires off in the distance.
We're going to approach cautiously, as far as Diego thinks is safe on horseback, and then dismount and scout forward to get more information.
You move a bit closer still. If you want better detail than what you got, you'll have to ride out for a bit more of the day. You'll have to ride out during the daylight to get closer, rather than turn around and head back, because you just saw them at night.
Yeah.
There's still
Oh,
some
sorry.
distance.
I may have been muted. Diego he and his men will approach closer, as far as Diego thinks is safe by horseback, and then we'll dismount and scout forward on foot to get more information.
No, I did hear you. It's just more that
Oh.
you're. I'm highlighting that you're a considerable distance away. It's just gonna take. You can get there because you made the roll of hiding and seeing.
Okay.
It's just that you need to be considerably closer to see more detail than we already have. So what I'm saying is you'll be on you'll be
Morning of day 2.
morning of day 2.
Or yeah. Okay.
You all right with that?
Yeah, I will send a rider back with believe we have made contact with the main enemy body. We'll be scouting forward for more to more detail and judging by the number of campfires, whether that many campfires means, well, if it's infantry, it's probably this many. If it's cavalry, just give a rough guesstimate on numbers based on campfires.
Give me intelligence, military lore, or military lore. I thought there was like something about camping and being outdoors, but not really. Natural lore isn't really that. It's
Survival.
Survival falls into something else then, not an
12.
intelligence thing. 12. You get this is an infantry unit based on the campfires.
Okay.
You don't see enough for you see the tents are too close together for horses.
Right. So yeah, I'll emphasize that this is a guesstimate based upon very incomplete information, but I think it's an infantry unit of approximately X size based upon campfires. But definitely underlining that this is, not hard information. That's why we're going forward. And then send a rider back to Seabreeze Cove.
You would guess about 200 or so people plus followers. The exact number you don't know, but around 200 seems correct. We cut back to McNeil and Bianchi on day 1 as they are heading over to the magistrate's office.
Mm-hmm. We'd like to speak to the magistrate to see if we can convince her to give up some building supplies and the compliancy of the guard.
You are aware, McNeil, that she is currently in session regarding the Continental system question. That's what you asked her to do.
Oh, when does it end?
They break for lunch at midday, and it's probably gonna go for at least all day.
This is a crisis. This is a crisis. I have to at least inform. There's all the elders, all the judges, all the magistrates are going to be inside that room, right?
Not all of them, but some of the higher up ones will be. The senior magistrates will be in there. The chief magistrate's
Okay.
there.
Well, time to make an impression then. I'll turn on my discipline of presence, and I'll just let's walk in and interrupt the hearing.
The sergeant at arms blocks your way. Excuse me, sir. They haven't called you in yet.
An enemy force is moving towards the town. I need to inform the magistrates. Step aside.
Why would you need to tell the magistrate? You just tell the captain of the guard.
The captain of the guard cannot give me everything that I need. The magistrates can.
I'll give him a communication check as the sergeant at arms looks very confused at you.
17.
Yeah, sergeant at arms kind of blinks at you and says, well, if it's something you need, I might be able to direct you to who can. I'm not sure the magistrates can help you with supplies.
Building supplies. And the guard? You saying the captain of the guard can give us all that?
Well, the captain of the guard can give you soldiers if you need defense of the town. If you're looking for building supplies, well, let me think. Magistrate wouldn't be.
Do you have a guild of stonemasons or woodworkers or something along those lines?
Captain, please let me think for a moment.
Think faster, man. 2 days from now, we are going to be under attack.
And that's 2 days from now. You won't die. 5 minutes.
Oh, I won't.
Well, if you're looking for building supplies, I assume you're buying a lot of it, so you need to speak to a carpenter's office or build a furniture office here in the summer ward, just down the street. I'm not precisely sure which one, but one with the big benches on it. But if you're looking for a more citywide effort, then yeah, I would suggest you speak with the House of Ravens. The tailors know everyone in town.
Very well, thank you, Sergeant at Arms. Bianchi, are you friends with these ravens?
I believe I had a run-in with them. If required, I may be able to talk to them.
A pleasant run-in or a less than pleasant run-in?
Well, if we were going to probably kill each other, but we didn't.
Oh, you mean in the woods when we were attacked by the wolves?
No, when I took the prisoner.
Oh. Are you on good terms with them then?
McNeil, you just made a deal with their leader last time.
I know, and I don't want to owe them anymore.
I mean, make sure Bianchi owes it.
I essentially said to them, if you don't kill me, I won't kill you. We'll go our separate ways, and we did.
Oh, very, very good then. Why don't you go over and speak to them and see if you can secure supplies for yourself, and I'll secure the men with the captain of the guard. Considering the magistrates probably won't give us what we want anyways.
Very
give
well,
you a ticket.
sir.
Says the sergeant at arms with a shrug.
Silence you. So, split up and meet me back at my headquarters when you're done. If I finish before you, I'll send runners for you, okay?
Understood, sir. I will go talk to the secret guild of important people who are not so secret.
Do try and be careful.
When aren't I, sir?
Ha. Okay, I'll go and speak with the captain of the guard.
You head off that way.
And we go
And-
to the Ravens.
I think someone told you where their house is or how to get there.
In the Park of Cheese.
Yeah, after the
Is
two
that-
of you leave, the sergeant at arms just kind of mutters to himself. Foreigners are so rude.
Yeah. Is this house like a Gouda one?
As you walk up, Cheese Park is filled with a variety of professional houses, tailors and armorers and jewelers, things of that nature. Eventually, you see that there's various raven statuettes here or there, and then eventually you get into the internal plaza of the neighborhood, and you see the House of Ravens, a tailor shop. And people are, it's in the morning. There's not a ton of people coming and going because it is a rather well-to-do tailor shop. You see there's stuff happening inside.
I'll like softly push the door, see if it opens, and if it does, I will enter.
You push the door open, you hear a little ding of a bell above your head. You see that there's some gentle lady being outfitted and measured and such, and you see some other people kind of tidying up things or working on something. And eventually you see a gentleman kind of look over at you and gives your uniform a look. He kind of comes out from behind the counter and says, "Can I help you, sir?"
Ah, yes. If possible, good sir, is it? May we speak of other things elsewhere, if possible? It's about the town.
I suppose one may be able to do so. What is it about the town you want to speak about?
And I'll just say it softly enough so the random woman being fitted for outfits doesn't hear it. Well, within the next 2 days, the town will be under siege, and I'm looking for stonemason supplies throughout the city to help prepare its defense. I have been informed that a certain tailor shop would best know how to outfit me.
Communication check.
I think I'm going to re-roll that.
Yeah, 6 probably won't make it. Oh, there's nothing to be whispering about that, sirs. We know all that is to do about Cheese Park and its vaunted merchants and leaders of the city. How much were you looking for? You see him kind of stand. He leans up away from you a bit to kind of dissuade you from leaning in at him. But he doesn't seem to mind talking about this part of it openly.
A couple of wagons first of couple of wagons worth of heavy block and stone.
Are you building a house, sir? Or are you fortifying a wall from wolves?
I think more wolves.
And I presume you need it quickly.
Preferably, if possible.
And you'll be the one assembling all such. You don't need help with that part. You just need the goods. The building
Correct.
materials.
I essentially need the materials. I'll do the assembly. I also have guns that I have to pick up from a port cannon to carry to the other side of the city, which will be done physically as well.
He walks behind his counter and begins looking through a ledger. Let's see, who could do an order that large that quickly? For a price he gives you a look over, you can afford.
Let's just say, costs will be covered.
Oh, by whom?
Well, definitely not a sergeant.
No, I didn't imagine not. Kind of looks up over. He looks up at you from his ledger and just kind of waits for a second.
Oh, is he waiting for me to give him an answer?
Yeah.
Oh, that will be from the Lysel and possibly the town as well, depending on what discussions happen elsewhere.
Well, I advise you to have the written hand when you start getting it. Notes are fine if signed and delivered, but you'll find in this sort of goods, in this quantity, one doesn't do such thing over a handshake and a smile.
I understand that. I recently had to spend quite a lot of money on accommodations and food for our troops, so they don't try anything funny.
Alright, here we go. Okay. Grabs a little bit of notepad and starts drawing out directions and a name and an estimate as to how much this will likely cost. And then he tears it off and holds it up to you. There you go. You should ask for This gentleman, he should be able to assist you with your goods. A Mr. Evander, Iron Shield. They should be able to assist you.
I do appreciate the help you have given, and if in a few days I still find myself in the company of the city, I may actually come back for an actual suit, if you would accept me.
You'll find that unlike many other tailor shops across the continent, a silver and gold weight is the same to us, no matter who gives it to us.
And he'll just smile and give a nod.
Nod.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Heads out to McNeil.
Yep. So, meanwhile, Cormac McNeil, you head off to the captain of the guard's office. Thankfully, is here in Summer Ward. You just go, down a couple blocks and you find the captain of the guard's office. You remember Saffron talking about it at one point, but as a captain, you didn't need to come here. That was more Saffron's problem.
Right.
But you get there and you see some of the orange coats of guards milling around. You're able to step in quite easily. They give your uniform looks, but they note it's an officer's uniform, and so no one really gives you much guff about it. And they carry on with their day. Some people reporting this, that, or the other. Someone's asking about this, that, or the other.
Right, I'd like to ask a clerk, like, hey, where's the captain?
And quite quickly, you find a gentle lady step forth. Seems to be middle-aged or so. Rough-looking hands. A saber. A cudgel on one hip, and what seems to be some various pouches on her belt. She actually walks up to you and doffs her hat off her head. I am
mine off as well.
Celine Thornwood, captain of
Miss
the
Thorn-
guard.
Miss Thornwood, pleasure to make your acquaintance. May we speak some more?
She gestures you to follow her.
Good. I'll follow her.
You step into a nice, if not cozy office, shall we say. I mean, she's in the nice part of town, but she has a guard. But she has a bit more space than your average government official, you find.
Look, madam, I'll be brief. I'll show her the transcript or the message that I received from Dame Rousseau, and in short detail, I'll explain to her, like, look, the city is about to come under assault by Tinander forces soon. Me and my troops have decided to stay here and help defend the city, but we need your cooperation and collaboration as well. We're looking to reinforce the walls, and we're looking to fend off any potential attack when it comes. It's not a matter of if it comes, but when it comes. I need to know that I can count on the city guard's support in this case.
Give me communication deception.
Deception? I'm not deceitful.
You 100% are. Those aren't Tin Islanders.
I was informed they are Tin Islanders.
They're from Coral Haven. It's a Vitluian city.
Who the hell told me Tin Islanders?
Oh, that was my misunderstanding. I thought those were a Tin Islander regiment. I'm sorry.
Can we double back, Gio?
Okay, I
was my bad.
wasn't sure if you guys were doing this on purpose. I was like, are you trying to false flag them? People are gonna know.
No,
the uniforms
that
give it away.
That was this player being confused and then misinforming another player. So.
I was deceived.
Sorry about that.
Deceived.
Okay, it's communicate, just a regular communication roll then, yeah. You don't
Yeah,
need
I
to use
mean,
deception.
I made my deception roll and spent some stunt points on you, and yeah, you've been thinking it's the Tin Islanders this whole time.
Here's a 16. If I may further clarify, the modifications done to the city walls will be beneficial for the future defenses of this city, whereas artillery that is facing seaward, some shall be mounted on the walls, as well as additional parapets being constructed.
Hello, kidney.
Hello, kitty.
Well, Captain, he says after reading it and setting it down so you can pick it back up again.
Mm-hmm.
She takes a seat at her desk, and she gestures for you to do the same.
I'll take a seat.
One thing I'll point out, just to be neighborly, I'm not sure how you're going to reform some over 500 yards of wall inside of 2 days.
Nay. We will not do all of the walls, only where the enemy plans to assault, and that is mostly where the gates are located. If we can reinforce the gates, we minimize the chances of them getting in through where is the most convenient. If they try to get in anywhere else, it's fairly narrow in these streets, so they'll be getting themselves into a chokehold. Or a choke point, rather, sorry.
Alright. Well, you have that figured out, I suppose. Secondly, not to put too fine a point on it, but what do you expect me to do about it, Captain?
Just tell your men to cooperate with mine. That is all. We are trying to defend the people of your city from being violently captured again.
Haven't been violently captured before.
My mistake, I phrased myself wrong. We are trying to stop your people from being violently captured. They are marching here with guns.
So did you, and then we peacefully let you in.
Yes, but as you can imagine, the Gallian army is quite at odds with the army of Vitlu, considering that they fight for different causes.
Yes, one for freedom of trade and one for the strangling of it. I could see how that would come to guns. Captain, you have to understand, Seabreeze Cove has been part of the Kingdom of Vitlu for a very long time. Even if I were to somehow convince myself this was wise to raise arms against my neighbors, why would we do it for Gallia?
Oh, I'm not saying you do it for Gallia. Seabreeze Cove, if I recall correctly, was declared an independent city by our chief magistrate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not value your freedom enough?
I don't much care one way or the other as long as the tax dollars are collected properly and they're spent on the right things.
Well, Captain, I dread to think what sort of punishment the Queen of Vitlu would have in store for this town once she gets word of what has transpired here. To willingly let the Gallian army in, there would be decimations, I'm sure.
They'd bring the entire magistrate's office against the wall and have them shot.
Along with the captain of the guard, considering your part in this little treachery? I cocked my head slightly.
Very good. There's the door. You have a nice day, Captain.
Consider,
I don't brook threats
Captain,
from bullies.
the only threat here is that a force is marching on your town, and you are not wise enough to listen to the threat from the outside. I am not your enemy.
Says the man with guns in my town, who somehow used corruption and guile to trick the magistrates to let you in. I had my way about it. We'd hold the walls and keep you out, but that wasn't my decision. I followed my orders and did my job. If they attack this town and do ill to it, I'll defend it. But I am not sallying forth in any fashion, ordering my men to shoot at fellow Vitluians.
I'm not asking you to sally forth. I'm asking you to help with the fortification of your settlement.
Last I checked, this is a free city. I don't answer to you, Captain.
That is why I'm asking for your help, not ordering your help.
You have a
There's
funny
a
way
difference.
you have a funny way of asking.
I did ask nicely, didn't I?
No, you threatened, sir.
I threatened what your queen would do to you when she finds out of your eventual treachery, and I pray, Captain, that your queen has sense, that you are not put up against the wall and shot. Should you change your mind, you know where me and my troops are. Until then, I'll be the one defending your people, not you. Good day.
As you start walking out, she starts stepping after you. Men, arrest this man. And the people just turn and put their hands to their cudgels and bar your way.
That would be an extremely unwise thing to do.
But if I turn over the man who stole this town from us, wouldn't the queen forgive me?
I'll raise my arms. Do it. I'm unarmed. And then see what happens. There are consequences to every action, madam, and yours will have one as well. Let me defend your people, or be branded a coward and a traitor. Not once, but twice.
You are smacked with clubs. I don't know if you want to deal with that combat.
I am vastly outnumbered, so no, just put me down.
You get pummeled into unconscious. They don't kill you, they just arrest you.
I want to burn this town down, man. I will.
You are arguably the worst negotiator I've ever heard.
So, Luciano, where do you go?
Well, I go looking for my dumbass. I mean, Captain.
Before we move on, does this mean that like next Saturday I get to hit him in the face with a cane? Because
that's up to you two. That was a internal matter. Yeah, Bianchi, you get up to the captain of the guard's house. They're milling about with their day.
I'm looking for your guard captain and the Captain McNeil.
Who do you ask this? There's people milling around. There's clerks.
To the receptionist, essentially.
Your name, please?
Sergeant Luciano Bianchi.
One moment, please. If you'll just wait here. And the receptionist gets up, walks out with a note. A couple minutes go by.
Note secretly says, extremely large man has just appeared looking for the person you knocked out.
There's a few large people here. Though you are the biggest in the room. In time, she does return. It would seem that Captain Cormac McNeil has been arrested for uttering a threat against the captain of the guard and insulting her honor.
Of course he has. Is there any way I could speak with the captain of the guard?
Communication roll.
Would you take leadership?
I wouldn't know. I'm quite sorry, sir, but the captain is quite a busy woman. You are free to see him in the cells once he wakes up.
Can I at least see her so I can apologize for the captain?
If you wish to leave a letter, I can make sure she sees it.
Very well.
And she kind of helps you out and hands you some paper and pen.
Essentially, the note / letter I'm going to leave for the captain is, hello, this is person. I hear my captain may have used the incorrect words as he's from a different land. I do apologise for if there was any misunderstanding. I assure you his intentions are not that of threatening and ill will, but of preservation of life. I will be at the essentially the stonemasons if you wish within the next hour or so. If you wish to call for me, I wish you a pleasant day and hope that all can be rectified. Yours sincerely, Sergeant Luciano Bianchi.
Give me a communication check.
Would you take leadership, considering I'm trying to make sure our forces are not split?
No, unfortunately. A matter of etiquette.
I know. Could I spend a point just to give it a +2?
You can. Put it to 14.
Yeah, I'll do that.
What's a 14? Let's check. Well, it's challenging, at least. Yeah, you leave the note with her. She takes it, doesn't look at it or anything. She just kind of... she gets up and walks back to wherever she took the first note. Eventually, she comes back and sits down and waits for the next person behind you to step forward.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the stonemasons because... Yep.
Trying to see how long it takes for you to wake up when you're not. I'm trying to figure out. 'Cause I'm wondering if you wake up in the cell or you have to have your long rest.
I mean, if I have to wine and dine this captain to get you out of jail, I will. I'll fucking do it.
Oh, so that's after a light rest. You would. You may benefit from extended healing while taking a light rest if you have tired fatigue. Rest removals as well. Oh, so I would actually have to tend to you to help you wake up. Yeah, no, you're out.
Just leave me unconscious. It's fine.
No, I wanted to make sure you didn't just pop up in 5 minutes. Like, oh, I can immediately do something. So yeah, Luciana, you head over to the person suggested to you in the letter.
Yeah, I believe it was the Iron Shield.
Yep. You find one of their offices in the South Docks.
Hello, I'm looking for, as he opens his note, this specific person.
I'm his son. How can I help you?
It's, my name's Luciano Bianchi, a sergeant. It's a pleasure. I'm here because the tailors, the Ravens, pointed me in this direction for an inquiry. Essentially, I am trying to get a couple of wagons worth of heavy materials, stone, building materials to reinforce certain locations along the wall.
Oh, how many wagons worth? Like, are you just doing like one bit of wall? Are you doing the whole thing?
It would be very specific areas, so I can actually give you a count here to focus up 1 second. Between 10 to 14.
Maybe about 50 gold all told.
Would you take a note from a bank that I have money in?
If you have a note, yeah, we can take a bank note.
I forget. It's 20. It's 10 silver per gold, isn't it?
Right. Ten copper to a silver, 10 silver to a gold.
Yep, this is coming out the personal funds again.
So you basically produce your own note and to what bank you have it in and provide it.
Yeah, to what would equate to, I believe, 500 silver.
Yeah. But hey, you get
Fuck.
wagons, you get nails, you get wood, you get like tools, you get guys to help pull the wagons, horses, you know, or the wagons. And you know what? Since you did such a big order, each of the wagons gets like an extra. They'll throw in an extra helper. Like they're not a master carpenter, but there's someone who can help with the tools. They can carry things. They're useful to have around. Mostly, it's apprentices who are trying to try to cut their teeth on stuff, helping people who are actually building things. So. Yeah, no, you're able to secure it all on your own.
I'm gonna fucking.
500 silver. Yikes.
Yeah, so my currency in my actual bank account has just gone down from 1100 to 600.
The benefits of having friends with heavy pocketbooks.
Hey, and take into consideration, I've got a note to be reimbursed for another 520 silver for the soldiers' room and board. I am literally paying for this campaign.
You just have to open your own bank in the future, that's all.
Well, thank God someone is.
But god damn. Yeah, I'll begin the give notes to where I'd like the wagons to go with some basic descriptions. I'll meet up with some of the infantry so they can oversee and help, and I've got to oversee taking the guns from the coast to the wall.
In time, you find Lieutenant Safwan, seeing you getting things ready to go. He kind of comes over and says, "You seen the captain? I've been looking for him. I haven't seen him all morning. Well, since the meeting, anyway."
Would you like the actual answer to that, which will get us all in trouble, or would you like the truthful answer, which will get us all in trouble?
Sergeant, I have a long day of work ahead of me. Please tell me where the captain is.
Well, he threatened the captain of the guard. He got thrown in jail.
He just kind of rubs his forehead. All right.
So I've now just paid out another 500 silver, which I'm getting back to get the supplies for the defense of the town. Now I need to go get the guns. So, yeah.
Carry on, Sergeant. I'll help the captain.
Luciano definitely isn't. He looks so annoyed, but he knows it's not the lieutenant's fault. It's like, I've got to go, sir. Thank you, sir. Goodbye, sir.
Yeah. Safwan just had that look of, oh, dang it. What else is going wrong today? As it seems like he's had his own troubles today. And give me one more roll of give me some intelligence engineering to start getting stuff underway. I'll give you +2 because you are fully supplied, so it's just a matter. What thing do you want to focus on today? Do you want to focus on the gates and the gates, the walls, or the guns? Because each of those are like a major thing you have to spend a lot of time on.
So, I'm not actually reinforcing the walls and the gates per se.
Hmm.
So, oh shit! I'll draw it on the map.
Okay.
I'll delete it, obviously. So, essentially, with these carts with supplies, they're going to be placed in like uh, different key areas in like a staggered formation. So it forces the troops one way, then another way past them, so they can't have a constant charge. And it also stops from cannon fire just completely blasting through, so it provides cover inside the towns near the gate.
Or like internal palisades.
Yeah, so and they are heavily fortified because they are full of big ass rocks, stones, and heavy building material.
All right. So you want to work on that internal fortification?
Essentially, yes, and that's the reason why I ordered so many, because I know I put one at the top left. I doubt it'll be happening there, but it'll be the tent wagons along the where's the rule? Like along here in those like staggered 2 formations,
Mm-hmm.
but closer to the wall, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Intelligence engineering, +2, all the same.
But yeah, like I said, I know for a fact that this is a fantastic way, one, to completely destroy a cavalry charge, and two, it like I said, it gives you extra palisades and protection from infantry fire.
Right. 16, easily done.
Do I need more?
Nope. You're able to. You spend the rest of the day, basically working on that and directing it, getting everything put into place. What that will do is give bonuses for the battle proper, because you basically have extra refortifications for later. But by end of day, Safan would have finally gotten to you. Because the other reason why Safan wanted to see the captain is because he has information from the Voltigeurs, and he's like, I need to tell him. Where did he go? I can't find my captain. That's not good. Where is everybody? Oh, right, I'm the only officer who's active right now. What is happening to my unit?
Yeah, what's happening to my unit? I'm the only lieutenant, and apparently my only sergeant is the one doing anything else.
Oh, there's another guy, but he's busy. It's like, oh, I'd help, but I'm helping with this other thing. Sorry. Oh, don't mind me. One of my sergeants just funded the bloody building of fortifications for this town. What war are we fighting? McNeil, you heal from 0. What's your guys' level?
3.
3, so 5, 8, 9. Plus 4 more, so you heal 13.
Yep.
And Safwan finds you in your cell and is able to treat you back into consciousness again. It's nighttime by the time he got to you.
Well, what news do you have?
Well, I have 2 bits of news. One's your personal matter, one's about the army. What would you like first, sir? Well, 3 bits of news, but the last one's really good news.
Tell me about the army.
We have reports from Lieutenant Borgia, sir. He pulled out a report that Borgia sketched out. 200 infantry, it looks like.
Send a runner back and tell him to shadow the force as long as he can without making contact. Try and get a accurate number if he can, but do not engage.
Right, sir. Second bit of news is your personal matter. I have been able to find a way to get you out that doesn't involve the magistrate's office, frankly, and keeps the name of the Corps out of it.
Yes?
A payment of a fine, sir.
Bail, how much?
Of about 7 gold, sir. Some 70 silver.
My personal belongings are in my office. Pay the woman what she bloody wants and I'll get out of here.
I'll get someone else, sir. And last bit of great news. Thought I'd save this for last. Sergeant Bianchi has funded, although he expects to be compensated by the Corps. Good luck getting that back. But yes, he has already started fortifying the city, building internal palisades across a place they call North Gate. Various hiding places and such. They'll help us fight on if they press into the town.
Have you been doing firing drills with your men?
I have my sergeant working on it. I've been in here arguing with the captain for the last while.
Please, tomorrow morning as soon as you can, close quarter drills. Bayonets and swords.
Sir, I'll make sure the sergeant comes in the morning with your bail.
Yeah, just leave me and don't mention this to anyone.
Don't worry, sir. You're going for a nice walk by the river. You just lost track of time. It happens to any of us.
Of course I did. No, off. I need
Salutes
to
and heads off.
Hey, guard. You stink.
Yeah, you stink. Oh, shut up in there. So. And the smell of the jail becomes apparent to you.
So let it. I'll go sleep.
Meanwhile,
It's not just the guard.
Diego Borgia.
Mm.
Another sun rises. You're a lot closer to
All
that
right.
army.
Carefully scouting forward, starting out before dawn to where Diego thinks we should leave the horses, and then we spread out and move forward to scout on foot, see what we can learn.
It would seem that these are well-drilled and regimented soldiers. They are in elite infantry, it seems. In their nice pressed orange coats and tassels, and from certain vantage points, you can actually see it seems there are members of the nobility present in their unit. And
As officers, I would assume.
as officers, yes. And they seem to have a set of cannon with them.
Could you get more granular when you saying a set?
Wheeled artillery, like a small. It's not a massive battery or anything like that, but they have some cannon. Enough. You get the feeling it'd be enough to knock down a gate, but not enough to like level the wall. Like they wouldn't be able to sit there and just pummel the city to end of time. They'd run out of powder before then.
So 4, 6, 8, 10, something what?
I'd say about 5 cannon.
5 guns. All right. These are elite infantry, so just can Diego come up with an estimate about how fast they can move on the march? Like, if nothing slows them down between now and reaching the city, how long would that take?
They'll be attacking on the morning of day 3.
Okay, so by the end of this day, they'd be in position to attack the city the following morning.
Yeah, because they can't. They do the same thing you guys did. They'll camp a
Right.
little bit of ways and then they'll move in the following morning fresh. Unless regimented unit would rush it, they'd attack on day 2, and that's given the distance they must have traveled. That would be unwise of them. I will note, eventually you do get the note from a runner from Safwan,
Cool.
care of Borgia.
Okay. Send back a different runner on a fresh horse with the full details of what I found. And then we'll kind of pull back a bit. Diego wants to try and do a delaying kind of distraction exercise. I want to find a place where, even with just 25-minute horses with stuff drugged behind us, we could throw up the dust cloud of a much larger force. So that, from a bit away, they'd see the dust cloud and then, a bunch of noise and whatever of a much larger force moving. But they have to get closer to identify it. But they would want to because it would be threatening, say, their flank or even rear. Like, cutting down tree branches, roping them to the horses, galloping the horses so that, instead of 25 horses worth of dust in the air, it's, it looks like 100.
Oh no. I do this every time. Yep. I would say this would be Constitution swimming. No, I'm just kidding.
Then we're fucked.
I would say dexterity traps, intelligence, military lore, or communication deception.
Yeah, I'll definitely be using either dexterity or military lore. 6 of one, half dozen another, honestly, with those scores. See if I don't suppose any of my commander things would come in, since this is not really mass combat.
Yeah, you're kind of doing the preamble to the actual combat.
Okay. Okay, so no bonuses there. So yeah, and the entire purpose is to slow them down, because they have to slow down their march, reorient to try and figure out what's going on. And Diego's going to get a group of his men, the majority of his men, doing that, while he and a smaller number, try to take up positions where we might get a chance to take some pot shots at people who come to investigate, maybe an officer or two, and also keep them from getting too close for a little while to stretch things out even further. And if we have one, I'll have some of the guys making riding the horses, making the noise. I'll have a group of 2 or 3, with the 7th banner, and make it look like that whatever bells and whistles we can add on flag wise, put on some fake brass to make it look like there's give the dressings of a larger force too. If we can. If we can't, we can't.
That can be lumped into this overall deception. I will warn, if you start shooting at anything, you engage mass combat, because they'll send out their own voltigeurs to find you.
Okay. Okay. So we're really just So the group that's not directly involved in making the distraction then will be keeping the main enemy force under observation, so that we know whether it's working or not, and whether keep it up and when to stop.
Right. Yeah. Because there's a point of if we keep doing this, they're going to catch us. We need to leave.
Gotta go. Gotta move to a different position. Try something else. Yeah. So I guess I will go for intelligence and military lore. 13. I think I'm going to action point that. If I can roll better. That's better. So 18.
Ooh, I think you got me. May have got me. 3 onto 4 puts me to 17.
Excellent. Glad. Well worth an action point.
As it seems one of the nobility is actually a little well read on warfare. Unfortunately, you're more well read than they are.
It's because I attended the military academy at Lemierberg.
It's true.
L'Académie Militaire.
So, and with a 5 as your success die, I will say you have stalled them to the morning of day 4. Like you're gonna be constantly doing little delaying actions, but never really engaging and just constantly slowing them down.
Right. Yeah, and I will keep a steady stream of runners going back to the city to keep them informed of the enemy's position. And once I harden numbers, God knows if there's ever a chance for a small group of us to sneak into their camp in the middle of the night and spike their guns, we'll get to that too.
Back in the city.
Yeah.
It's a new day, new dawn, and McNeil is free from his confinement.
Okay, well, go back to where I was quartered to run a bath and wait reports.
You get reports from Borgia's runners. You get reports from Bianchi. Actually, probably Bianchi will come to report you that morning. But I'll let him do that. And you'll get a report from Stefan that he is, one, the person who sent the money to get the bail. They let you know, obviously, that's your money. And you get a receipt in case you want to reclaim it or something like that. Or you want to burn it. It's up to you. It's your receipt. And Stefan is already working in the park doing some drills.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's it pretty much. I'll be in my office reading reports. Nothing
Bianchi,
else.
you find McNeil in his office.
Yeah, I'll give a knock.
Come in.
Comes in and salutes. Sir.
At ease. What progress on the reinforcement of the walls and the gates?
The reinforcement aspect of it's taken care of. I need to move the guns. And depending on if we get any more information back from Borgia's runners, I may be able to further reinforce specific areas. But,
Borgia has managed to stall the enemy force for long enough. I think you may have time. I'll give you a writ. Take it to Lieutenant Safwan and take as many men as you need after they're done with their drills for the day. Give them a bit of a break though first. And see about just moving 1 or 2 cannons for now. I know naval guns are probably heavy, so...
of
Take your
course,
time.
sir. Could I inquire how your rest was last night?
No, you may not. Was that all?
Considering I had to write a very lovely note to a certain guard captain.
Yes. What of it?
I believe next time you come across them, maybe you just say it was a cultural difference in how you spoke.
Here's to hoping I won't come across them then.
Fantastic. Anything else, sir?
No, you're free to go about your day.
Very well. Have a good day, sir. Head out.
You're in your day 2. So what do you guys do with your day 2?
I can go around the gates here where the defenses are being built and see if I can, like, I don't know, oversee the work and help the men where I can. Just to make things go a bit more smoother or faster.
Well, yeah, because you would have got reports of what exactly is being done. So it's not like it'd just be, "Oh, why are there's random wagons full of stuff? Oh, that's what he's actually doing."
Yeah, of course. So I'd like to go to where the things are being built, oversee them, and just spend some time with the men.
You mean communication leadership, I suppose, or persuasion?
That'll do it.
Now, where was that roll or your stupid dice? Yeah.
I'll spend 4 to inspire, and I'll let the one fizzle out.
Wow.
And yeah, let them be inspired. They'll get a +1 if they're doing something more complex.
Very good. And this will give you a bit of reputation. Aspiring officer to the rank and file. You actually went out of your way to bolster
And
their
I'll
spirits and help them out.
I'll soon be demoted to an officer of the rank and file anyway.
You can guard the colors.
The regimental seal and stamp. Safe under my watch.
Oh, I forgot how my own game works. There we go. Let's see. Obviously, military's like that. Military plus. Militarists plus. Common citizen like that. We're looking for the common guy. And who's gonna be a stick in the mud about it?
Monarchists, probably.
Yeah. What do you mean you talk to them? They're just a help. Okay. I'm just not being a jerk. Jeez.
Noted.
What you up to, Bianchi?
Well, I would be heading over to Lieutenant Staff 1 to hand him a note that later on I would require his men to help move the guns.
I will say the moving of the guns will be strength might +2 or communication leadership +1.
I think I'll go. I'll go for my better stat, which is strength might.
Mhm.
Is that essentially just me picking one up myself, or the others do the second?
These things are really heavy, so it's a matter of it's you and a bunch of other people lifting it up onto a wagon and then helping the horse pull it along, and then once you get to the other end, getting them back down again and getting them settled in. Like, these are big, like, anti-navy cannons, and they weren't really meant to move from where they were. So
what caliber are they?
oh, that's a good bloody question.
Are they like those static ones that you mount on the walls?
Yeah.
Can't really be moved, yeah.
Because it's one of those big static naval guns. I forget how big they are. I know they're fairly big and fairly heavy, because they're not meant to be
30 pounders, maybe, something along those lines.
That sounds about right. I can't imagine it being too much heavier than that for as big a town as it is. So you're moving them like closer to the east side, so near the gates.
Yeah, so I put one here and one here. I think that's a 6. I think you gave me like a +3, didn't you, or +2?
+2.
Then yeah, that's a 16.
16. Will do it. Yep.
Yay, 6 points. Would you allow a sway with the captain of the guard to try and lessen her?
No. She
No,
has
no, no,
nothing
no.
to do with the guns being moved in any fashion.
Like, oh, she sees how he's being helpful and is just trying to lessen the disdain she has for us.
No.
It's worth a go.
Nice shot. Nice shot.
Sway yourself 1.
Yeah, because you're making his life easier. He got it done quickly.
Would you take the last 2 for efficiency? So it basically just takes half the time.
I'll let you do another thing for your day too, because of that.
Okay, I'm gonna throw one out there, but I don't think it's even possible.
Hmm.
Can I talk to the researcher to see if he has a prototype of the knot gun?
This won't take you any time. They don't have one. They want one built. They know how to build it. They just don't know. But they've yet to build a prototype, unfortunately. If there was one built, it would be in the capital. Like they may have his plans or a copy of them, and they may have them all the way in Olisipo.
And if I've got an extra action to do, then I will actually head over to the guard captain. I really want to smooth this out because the last thing we need is for a conflict to arise and for them to suddenly go, maybe.
You can spend communication trying to get an audience with her. She really doesn't want to talk to you.
Leadership?
No. Levitt isn't going to do it.
Yeah. I don't think. Is anyone willing to spot me an action point to try and do better?
I would, but I failed to see the point. Honestly. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it. Can't really,
Oh, there.
You only have so many.
No, it's fine.
So we fall to day 3. This is currently the last day before before the 22nd Coral Haven attacks, and author gives you an action point.
Could I just do a quick reroll?
If you like.
No. I'm just gonna go fuck myself.
So
Nine won't do it.
Diego will have been rotating men and horses so people don't get completely exhausted, and he himself will have been pitching in, getting just as dirty as his men, just as, riding back and forth, being seen and eating with them, and just like your good old rifle captain. And yeah, just try to continue to keep them delayed.
Give me perception empathy.
Sin?
You notice these further delaying actions seem to be largely ignored or pushed through, but you're not
Okay.
entirely sure why they're doing that. But it's obvious that they're not being slowed down anymore. They seem to be hell bent on getting there by the morning of day 4.
Okay. Then in that case, I'm going to kind of pull back a bit, put out pickets, get everybody a rest. We may try and see if we can't cause some havoc in the night. Try to keep it under observation, particularly when they start making camp.
Hmm.
What?
I'm trying to think what role would that would fall under. That would help you down the line. Because spiking the guns or something like that would be something I would think of as like a crisis thing you would do. Like it'd be an encounter.
Fair. I guess in my head I was thinking of it more in the current situation as a raid. Get in, do what damage you can, then you get the hell out in the middle of the night.
Hmm.
But however you want to do it, it's good with me.
Give me. You want to do a minor raid? Give me. I'm just thinking, processing. Yeah, intelligence military lore. See if you can find an opening you can exploit really quickly.
I can stunt point that if I need to.
You don't need to.
Okay, excellent. 2 stunt points. And this is a roll for me finding an opportunity, right?
Yeah, you basically find a way to get some minor sabotage and damage before you pull out. Like, you're not getting to a full-on engagement. You're doing just enough to mess with them and then getting away from them.
Right.
I mean, you could essentially do enough damage to
Well,
force their hand that they have to fire at the gate.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that if I can, spiking the cannons was my hope, because they only have the 5 guns, and then the walls being built really well for non-artillery become a super advantage. So yeah, I think I will spend the 2 stunt points on wariness to get +2 for next test to avoid any negative results from this action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the most you're able to do is you're basically able to spike a gun before the guards start running over to see what's going on. Or not running over, they come over to check on them.
Right.
And it's like, oh, we better leave. So what that will do is that will penalize their roll because they've been raided before the fight even started.
Okay.
So you're not able to get all the guns unless you sit there and trade shots with them, but I don't think you want to do that.
Then yeah, after that, I think I'm going to infiltrate my men back into the town. And report into McNeil while my men get a hot meal and a little bit of rest.
For your day 3, last day before the attack, what are McNeil and Bianchi up to? Borgia won't be back until the morning of. It takes some time to get to you.
Well, if the fortifications are mostly finished,
fortifications are up and the guns have been moved.
Okay, then if that's the case, I should like to run the last bit of drill with the men myself.
Mm-hmm.
with regards to siege warfare. You know, just hey, if it comes to the siege, don't poke your head up above the parapets. Just stay below. If you hear shaking, that's probably just the gate. You know, teaching them the basics of a siege because I imagine they've never been in one.
Yeah.
I've at least read about them, so maybe I can impart some knowledge.
Very good. Give me communication leadership or intelligence military lore. There's two different ways you could be coming at this.
Which would be more beneficial for them if I give them words of encouragement or if I give them actual stats like, hey, this is how you do it.
Whichever one you think you have the better shot at. Either way will give you a bonus to the roll for them dealing well with the siege. It's how you're approaching teaching them. Either you are trying to say, hey, don't worry, man. Stick it out, you'll do it. As opposed to, okay, if you feel shaking, it's doing this. Don't worry about it. The cannons only fire this far. We hear there's only 5 guns, so it's not going to be that bad. It's going to be a little scary. You know, that sort of thing. Whether you're being very rational about it or you're trying to inspire them.
I'll try and tackle it with int because this is a more rational sort of approach to the problem.
Mm-hmm.
18
18 will do it. Yeah, the men listened very carefully to what you told them. And my understanding is that your character isn't an academy graduate themselves. They're just a well-read person. They just know a lot.
Yeah, like I've seen sieges happen during the Great War with, when I was serving in Gallia. So, okay, I've been to this siege or I've heard about this siege. This is what they did then. This is what happened. Look, don't worry. Cannons, when they fire, they go boom. Don't be scared. Don't stick your head over the parapet. Don't die. And if people start charging in, you stick them with the pointy end.
Yeah. Very good. Bianchi, what's your last move for the invasion?
1 second, I'll have a drink.
Apparently having his ration.
Sorry, I was taking some tablets.
Okay. That's how they give out rations now. They just give you some tablets.
I assume, obviously, we'd discuss it properly in a meeting. But what Bianchi would be trying to do is get himself designated to specifically the ground gate defense. Essentially, it's the forlorn hope, but Bianchi hopes to be the defender in that situation.
Yeah.
And he's essentially trying to get to designate some people who would be best suited to receive the charge through the gate.
Okay. Perception empathy. Because you're volunteering to be a forlorn hope defender, as it were. In that sense, like you're making sure you're the one who catches them trying to push in. Savon already kind of likes you at this point, so he doesn't mind putting you there especially since you're volunteering. Sure, you believe in it, but now it's a matter of you picking out the people who will hold firm if the gates come down.
Would you take willpower courage?
No, because that's you being courageous. If it was magic, you can instill it to somebody else, but that's a different setting.
I mean, that's pretty good.
12 gets it.
Damn, that's a lot of points.
When you get stunt points on rolls that are, I mean, they're not unimportant, but they're not exactly vital. Look to see if I see any animals. 6 stunt points. I was just looking for food. I didn't need this many. Yeah, I want to shoot the big bad guy with my super cool gun. Okay. No stunt points. Cool. I just shoot him, I guess.
Yup.
I'd like to sway Safwan again.
You could do that, yeah. More of you're getting a gauge of what kind of person he is and what he expects of his sergeant, and you're finding ways to accommodate that.
And it's not like I can take it. Well,
Author has helped out the GM. Don't worry, nothing bad's gonna happen because of that.
Oh, clearly. But like I said, it's not like I can essentially take his job unless he kicks the bucket. But it's if I have multiple people above my rank who I'm on good terms with, it gives me better chances for promotions
Yeah, 100%.
and hopefully one day maybe getting a grenadiers unit.
Well, it's good to dream.
Yeah, it's good to dream. I think for the... Could I spend 2 on wariness?
Suppose you could.
Yeah, so essentially when or if the gate comes down, we get a +2 to the next test to maybe willpower courage for the men.
If nothing else for you, because you're going to be the one standing with a lot of angry rifles pointed in your direction.
Well, that's not been unusual.
It's true.
But yeah, because essentially trying to put together his own little unit to receive the main assault.
Very good. Morning of day 4 comes.
Nice layman's quote.
Yeah. So Diego will report in.
Welcome back, Diego.
They'll be attacking this morning. I can put my men on the walls, or we can try and open the battle and delay them by skirmishing outside. The rifles are excellent in urban fighting. We might
Skirmishing
get a chance to
outside,
do them some extra damage.
skirmishing outside comes with a chance that the buildings will be damaged. Is that right?
Well, yes, sir, but they have cannon. Buildings are going to get damaged in the upcoming thing, but it also gives my men a lot of. It increases our effective force number because it limits the number of people they can send to get us if we're in the buildings. We can at least delay them further and withdraw back through the gates once the skirmishing portion is done all it can do.
Once we send the retreat, make sure you are quick with your running. You will hear the bugle once, and then we are closing the gates as quick as we can.
Fair enough.
And when you fall back into the city, you'll see multiple makeshift palisades that have been reinforced. They would be perfect for sharpshooters to place themselves upon and behind.
Sounds excellent.
Well, you all know what to do. You have your orders. But for now, the rules of engagement are that you do not fire until you are fired upon first. I will not have the Vitluvians say that we fired first.
I believe that
Understood.
ship has sailed, sir. We're at war with them.
Yes. Yes, we have, but I want the captain of the guard to see that they have come to harm this town and all people in it. And hopefully that'll change their mind. In any case...
Hear me, sir, but why do you care what some guard captain thinks? We'll be long gone of this place and glorious in victory, and they get none of it.
Call it a matter of pride.
Yeah, Diego's already heading out with his men.
Call it a matter of pride, Safwan. The point is, don't fire until they fire first.
Orders are orders. Follow them sharply. That includes you there as well, Sergeant Bianchi.
If I'm being fired upon, it means the gate's already been breached.
Safwan, what kind of shot do we have loaded in the artillery?
Just the standard. Well, currently just the round ball. They do have some grape and chain though.
We won't be using the round. Too much possible collateral damage unless it's for counter-artillery purposes. Wait until they get close enough and load grape shot and fire at them with everything you got.
Sir, I'll instruct the artillery.
Till you see the whites of their eyes, Lieutenant.
Oh, they see the white of their flag, sir.
Well,
But you see the whites of their eyes and then turn them into a red mist.
Hopefully, we'll see that as well. Send a runner to Diego and inform him of the bugle call, what the bugle call will be to sound his retreat.
Someone will immediately run off and start doing that.
Right. And as for the rest of you, position yourselves. You know the drill. We've been over this. It's just a siege. In fact, it won't even be a siege. It'll be a quick assault upon which they will break.
Never thought I'd be defending a Vitluian town.
Well,
Never
you're
thought-
defending a Vitluian town that's been heavily fortified by me.
Mind you, Lieutenant, we are not defending a Vitluvian town. We are defending an independent, free city.
Right.
So they like to style themselves. In any case, do make sure that all the citizens are cordoned off. This isn't some sort of entertainment for them to watch.
Sir.
Off you go, then dismissed.
And I'll take my position at the gate.
Back. Over there. Right. So actually, the first thing that happens, you see the banners of the 22nd Coral Haven as they position themselves on the horizon and get start settling into formation. Your soldiers get primed up and stuff. You notice that some of Safon's men are moving around trying to get people to starting to cordon off. And you notice the guard are already doing that. They're starting to move people away from where the fighting's likely to happen.
Okay.
Which Safon still has people hang about just in case this is something squirrely, but yeah, they seem to
Does
be.
anyone on the walls perhaps have a spyglass I can borrow?
Yeah, there's probably some spotter that has one up there.
I'd like to check out the rank and file and if I can see any officers from here.
You peer out, and you see there are the orange coats of the Coral Haven Guard. You see brilliant golden sashes across some of the officers, indicating nobility. Some of them with nice tall hats full of feathers and such. And as you scan the horizon, sorry, I have to grab some. You see another set. You see other banners, and you see it is some 50 cavalry.
That should make Diego's life more interesting. How far away is Diego
Hard for a
from
horse
me?
to get into a building.
Oh yeah, how far away is Diego from me? If I'm standing
We're-
there on the walls.
We're in we're in the houses and structures out here. Yeah.
Probably some 70 or so yards, yeah.
Okay. I'll try and shout from the walls. Oh, Diego! Look eastward!
Someone finds Diego and says and passes on the message from McNeil.
I shall look eastward.
And when you look, yep, 50 cavalry.
I'm basically giving the choice up to you. If you want to retreat, now's the time. If not, feel free to stay. But I can... My non-trained military mind can probably tell what they're trying to do. Force you out of the building with the soldiers and then cut you down with the cav.
Right.
Oh, that's perfect.
What's your plan?
Right, so the way I've set up these defenses is perfect for funneling and essentially dismantling cavalry. The gates are open because after the first bugle, they're going to close. So if we can get the cavalry to pre-charge in and essentially wipe them from the battle.
I doubt they'll do that, but
Well,
wait
I
and
mean-
see, I suppose.
Diego's forces could be used as bait. We'd have to do quick.
I'm leaving the
So-
choice up to you. If you give me like a hand signal or something, we can send the retreat. But up to you.
You actually notice someone on horse is approaching with a white flag over them. As they approach
I'll,
under truce.
I'll peer down from the parapet and yell at someone, bring over the banner of parley, please.
Easily done.
Your mother was a hamster. Your father smelt of elderberries.
As you slowly start to get this feeling of, man, this feels very familiar all of a sudden. Wait, didn't you guys do this?
Hmm.
Actually,
I'll-
it seems exactly like that. Huh. Not weird.
I'd let them approach the walls and they can speak with me if they want to.
You notice one of their party is a lady with a gold sash. Who
Are
you-
they approaching the walls or are they in this village where Diego is?
They approach the village. They're waiting to see if someone meets them out there. But they slow down. They rode a little quickly, so they get down the road, and then they very slowly start heading this way.
I'll let Diego handle this one.
All right, Diego will make his way out with a, have a private with a white handkerchief or something on his bayonet. That's my parley guy. And I will go meet the lady in the sash.
Whoops. Ah, fudge muffin. Sorry, I was trying to type in her name. But something I didn't want to. Too small. The dark-haired lady peers down at you.
Diego grins up at her, kind of tugging at the brim of his slouch hat. Morning. Lovely day for it, I say in trade.
She looks over at someone who translates it into Vitluian. She doesn't seem to know trade of all things.
I could try Winalani if it works better for you, lady. They seem to have more respect for Winalani than trade around here.
That is also translated to her.
Okay, I shrug.
You, sir, says the translator, stand in the presence of the Princess Callista Arvanar.
Diego bows. Delighted, I'm sure.
She
I'm
nods
Lieutenant-
at the bow.
I'm Lieutenant Diego Borgia of the 7th Corps of the Gallian Grand Army.
She says something. He says something back to her, and she just kind of makes a dismissive wave. And then the translator shrugs and switches to Winalani. The princess is here in charge of the 22nd Coral Haven Elite Guard and wishes to know the purpose of the 7th Corps in Seabreeze Cove.
We are currently negotiating with the magistrates and other town officials for the reimposition of the Emperor Aeliron's continental system. And as far as terms of Seabreeze Cove's import and export and trade goes. That is our primary purpose, to restore the Emperor's continental system.
You see her peering at the walls. And and feel free to correct me if this is incorrect, guys. Normally they'd have like some flags just near gates and stuff to kind of help people know allegiance. This place, normally, when you guys came here the first time, they would have had the Vitluian flag and the Seabreeze Cove shield. But now they've taken down the flags. Your flag isn't up. It's up around your people, but they just have their shield up, indicating that they're independent. They're an independent city. So I don't know if you would have draped new flags or you would have pulled down the shields.
No, we made a deal that they are a free city. We're just getting the Emperor's Law back into this free city, right? So, as far as I'm concerned, they can keep their damn flag up.
That's our propaganda anyway.
Yeah. That's how we like to sell it.
He says something to a translator. The princess asks why you stand ready at arms before a free city. He rolls his eyes at that.
Well, and begging the princess's pardon, I'm sorry to say that our two nations are currently in a state of war. As a soldier and as loyal troops of the Emperor, it is our duty to stand in opposition to the enemy of our country, wherever we may find ourselves, except, of course, under such flags of parley and truce.
Obviously. He says without her prompting. She looks at him and he says something and she frowns at him. And, whoops. He kind of makes this like, oh, whoops, I shouldn't have said that. He says something to him after he translates what you said. And actually, Borja, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you wearing your faction pin on your uniform?
Yeah, I forget exactly where I said he wears it, but I think it's also like worked into the stock of his rifle.
Yeah.
And there's a little raven somewhere now, but anyway.
On the underwear, perhaps.
The one that I'm going to need to change here shortly.
Her Majesty asks why you bear the mark of the Friends of Constitutional Order if you wear it falsely.
To my knowledge, I'm not wearing it falsely. I am a friend of constitutional order. The Constitution is provided by Emperor Aeliron I. I'll point out that the town has not asked us not to fight.
He translates that. She makes a dismissive gesture. Says something. It seems... He says something. She sparks it at him. He flinches and nods. Her Majesty says it matters not. It appears the adults are talking.
Ah, I get it. Well, most of us anyway. There is at least one more in the city who's not talking, but are probably listening from the rooftops, shading their eyes under their wings, as it were.
He gives you a look, and then he hesitates in translating. He translates. She pulls what looks to be like a baton of some kind with a golden wheel head, and she gestures at you and says something.
I wait for the translation.
He looks at her. She doesn't break eye. She's staring you dead on, and he just kind of continues looking at her. Shrugs and just kind of looks at you. Her Majesty offers you two choices. Right. In the spirit of valor, for us to die in battle, for you to surrender and be treated as officers and men of the rifle, or, pardon me, sir, in parley with the tailors.
Would Her Majesty be gracious enough to allow me the time to send these choices up to my commander?
She, without waiting for translation, she just waves at you with the baton, and then she slots the baton back at her belt.
All right.
Kind of. She leans into her saddle a little casually and waits.
I'll sketch out. I'll pull out my notebook and pencil and write down the offer and send a runner back with it. Also on the offer, I am going to suggest maybe we do let the Ravens mediate. Send him off to Cormac McNeil, then invite the princess and her retinue onto, I don't know, some porch or somewhere, and provide them what refreshment and opportunity and that we can with what we've got on hand and under the flag of truce while we wait. So yeah, battle, surrender, let the Ravens negotiate with us.
That message is carried up to Captain McNeil.
Yep.
Okay, I shall receive it.
And I'll have included the princess's name and all that stuff.
Sometimes I fear that we are giving a guild of assassins far too much political power in our own country, as well as other countries abroad. I fear what consequences may come of this, but if Diego is quite sure...
I'm not sure, but it's 250 people versus 75. So.
Yes, but we have walls on our side.
Yes, and behind those walls, a lot of people who may or may not be on our side when push comes to shove.
Look,
But your call.
I trust your judgment, as mine has been proven faulty as of recently. So I'll send the runner back and say fine.
Yeah, I've never made a misstep.
I'll say all right. Send the runner back to Diego and tell him that the third option is a go, and send someone to the tailor shop in Cheese Park. Matter of fact, send Sergeant Bianchi.
Well, yeah.
Diego will relay that.
The translator relates it. He seems stunned. Princess kind of looks up and scans the walls again. She eventually probably spots McNeil, because I imagine you're not hiding or anything. You're up on the wall.
I'm up on the parapets, yeah, looking down at her.
Eventually, she finds you on the wall.
Is she still down there? I mean, I'll just wave at her.
Hey. She gives you a look. She draws her baton once more and gives it a slight tap to her hat.
I'll take off my feathered hat in a most illustrious manner as well, and give her a light nod from the walls.
And she goes, and she pulls the horse around. To kind of move back a bit and talk with her people while she's waiting for you to get the ravens.
Yeah, I'll send a runner to Bianchi and tell him, get your ass to Cheese Park. You got people to bring to us. So, go, go, go.
Yay!
I know you love the Cheese Park.
Yay! Yeah, I will go to Cheese Park and go try and retrieve a raven.
As you head down there, you get to the doors. It's not active right now. There's not a lot of people this morning. It does look like it's closed. The sign says closed, but you see people milling around inside. One of them sees you in uniform, kind of come and opens up the door to look at you. Yes, soldier?
Apparently, the princess would like to talk to a tailor.
Really? Interesting. Very interesting.
I've been sent to retrieve a tailor.
A moment. Closes the door. Eventually, a lady in a fine suit jacket paired with a very practical looking skirt and steady boots opens up the door and kind of starts walking up to you. Greetings, Sergeant. Been some time.
I don't believe we have had the pleasure, or might we have met on a darker night?
A much darker night with much warmer weather, I imagine.
Ah, of course. Well, if you may grant me the pleasure of escorting you to a meeting with a princess.
Well, I didn't think I was going to have such an eventful week, but here we are. She begins to follow you.
Yeah, and I'll lead her out to Diego.
Yeah, in time
Diego.
you bring the lady up to her, so it was not a dark and stormy night. No, full of wolves though. Very, very scary wolves. Yeah,
What is her
Borja,
name again?
I'm Leona Silverheart.
Oh, well, I just should have waited a minute.
Yes, I have brought Miss Silverheart here to have discussions. So,
I think a princess would be here, but I'll do what I can. She
well,
looks
I
to
wish you
and-
luck. I am going to be crying to myself in a corner because I am extremely out of pocket.
Diego kind of looks at Bianchi weird as he walks away. Bianchi, perhaps you should ask the captain to step down here for these negotiations. I mean, I'm happy to handle it, but he is quite better at this sort of thing.
Recent activity would beg otherwise, but I will certainly invite him down. And I'll head up to, or over to the wall where the captain is, and Captain,
Yes?
Lieutenant Borgia has asked whether you would like to involve yourself in this conversation personally.
Very well. I was just starting to enjoy my tea up here. It's quite windy today. Hold the
I
fort,
mean,
will you?
I'll take care of it, but
Yeah, you will. Bang!
Hold the fort, will you?
Vaughn takes
Yeah.
takes position on the sighting area.
yeah, you will. Bang. Or wait, it's how much cold?
I'll go down there and join them.
Captain McNeil, a pleasure, says Leona.
I
Here you
don't
go,
believe
Will.
I've had the pleasure, miss.
I did try to kill you a couple days ago. With the wolves,
Oh,
you
no.
see.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, right. A charming young lady, of course.
You look much better in the daylight, I assure you.
Likewise, young lady, likewise.
What's the princess's name?
Callista Arvanar.
Prince, if I may do the honors, Princess Callista Arvanar, may I present the esteemed Captain Cormac McNeil and the equally esteemed Leona Silverheart.
Cormac McNeil, Earl of Strathcliffe, and officer in the Galleon Army, the 7th Corps. Pleasure.
In accented trade, she says, Princess Callista of the Principality of Coralhaven, second in line to the throne.
Fucking nobles.
Well, Princess, your beauty does you justice. As I'm sure that the songs sung over the taverns here, which mention it, are no mere lie anymore. They are true.
Diego keeps his face very still.
I have heard of Tin Island diplomacy, and I'm glad to see that the old ways are not dead.
We have brought the tailor, as you requested, Princess. I assume negotiations are now in order.
Yes, yes, Princess? You may leave. He looks like he's gonna say something. She pulls her baton, like she's about to point it at him, and he starts, no. He turns around and starts riding away. A single guard's still with her, but he hasn't said a word. He's obviously just there to protect her from being attacked. Or retaliate, either way. Right. Princess, are you in need of tailoring? I am indeed, young lady, and it seems you're in the company of an apprentice of sorts, yes? She looks over at Borgia.
Ixnay on the apprenticeship.
I'll raise my eyebrow. Huh?
We've been teaching your lieutenant a bit of tailoring.
Quite right, you have, I suppose.
And she looks at you. It doesn't do well to leave one superior officer too in the dark. Makes them uncomfortable.
Oh, I like giving my men and my officers plenty of autonomy. They are all capable individuals, and I enjoy working with them vastly. Their decisions in the past have proven more wiser than mine sometimes.
A lesson I wish the queen would have enjoyed, says Callista. Says the princess, I should say.
Your mother, I presume?
The queen. She is not my mother, sir.
Ah, my apologies.
No.
Out of character question, is she, trace some genealogy here, is she like adopted, or what's the deal?
Give me intelligence heraldry, because, yeah. Who knows the ins and outs of Itluian monarchical status? Not you. Who cares?
I'll AP this, I still have one.
Oh, very good.
No, I won't, actually. Never mind.
Look,
Okay,
you can
yeah,
trace
not
back to Arthur Pendragon, but who cares what the Fitluians do?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go with the reasoning that maybe she's like an adopted member of the royal family or something along those lines.
Hmm.
Okay. But yes, we are here. Terms, princess?
Well, seeing as how we have a constitutionalist here, I'll note to you, Borgia, that's the much politer version of what militarists are called. Militarist is kind of the
Right.
word you'd shoot at them. It's like, that's not what we're about, by the way. But yeah, a constitutionalist here, a nobleman of the Ten Isles, and a tailor. I think the four of us can make arrangements that Coral Haven benefits as much as you two have. At present, I seem to see an independent city who, currently, having not moved its troops, is neutral in this engagement. And, well, I didn't come here to fight anybody. I was here to meet with someone who's going to help me with my problems. But if you're willing to help me with my problems, then I might as well talk to you.
What sort of problems may they be?
The kind that requires a tailor. Your army is gonna want to continue on and march forth. And as you can see, our defenses are not as easily swayed as Seabreeze. As respectable as the House of Ravens are, my crown is the one that holds that city. And though your soldiers are mighty and your army grand, I think I can be a nuisance. The problem is, a lot of my people will die, and I'll likely have to flee into exile to Vinland or something. Maybe Wenalani, I suppose. But I'd rather not.
So what do you propose? If I may be so blunt, the tailors have a reputation of doing things which are, I'll look over to Miss Silverheart, less than savory, if I may put it so.
You may.
You're not suggesting that,
Fiona looks not at all offended.
you're not suggesting we do something with the Queen, are you?
Well, not just the Queen.
Who else?
Well, the Crown Prince as well. How else would Vitlu see the wisdom, I suppose, of the Continental system?
Of course. Of course.
GM, is Coral Haven the next town south
It is.
from where we are? Okay. That's okay, I just want to be sure. Thanks.
The Crown Prince is your, lost in the familiar, is he family, the Crown Prince, to you?
He is the Crown Prince.
Ah, I see. And your claim to the throne, you are second in line, you said, right?
Yes.
What problem does the Crown Prince present for you, then? He is the first in line, I imagine.
Because my dear father is dead, and the Queen sits upon the throne rather than my father.
Uh-huh. I see.
And laws of hereditary line here in Vitlu follow the sitting monarch.
I see. And you would want them removed and have yourself installed instead.
Well, my last name may not be Stornhelm, but I'd rather not see this queendom torn to shambles. I think we can make ourselves quite difficult for you. I think if it was
No,
just
of course.
Gallia, we could fight you off. The problem is that you have the Armenians with you. That presents a rather large problem. And rather than, no offense to you, good sir, rather than sell ourselves to the Tin Isles, I'd rather sell ourselves to the winning side and still maintain some level of dignity.
Of course, you realize, I mean, the Taylors will have their own say in this, as I assume you will, Miss Silverheart, but of course, I am assuming you know we will have our own terms as well for this deal to work.
The princess knows our price. It's one you're familiar with, Captain, says Liana.
Yes, I know you take your payments in silver and gold, but I'm afraid Gallia is going to have to get its due. And I'm not talking about cash either.
What do you propose? Says the princess.
Have you any brothers? Or sisters, for that matter?
I have a younger brother, yes.
Then perhaps marrying off one of your younger brothers to one of the Emperor's children may secure an alliance between Gallia and your noble house, thus cementing this bond.
And see, this is why the radicals are completely insane. This sort of peace can only come from constitutional order, after all. Perfectly reasonable to me, Captain.
Very well. Furthermore,
And yeah, go ahead.
will you be returning to the Emperor's system if that is the case? Should you be installed as queen?
Certainly. I'm the one who suggested we switch to it. It's the queen that decided elsewise with the advice of Crown Prince.
And one last thing that I gotta think about it, but hang on, I'm trying to find it in the chat where you put it. It's before this. Yes. You wouldn't happen to have in your possession a certain chalice belonging to Saint Solara, or a crown, or a sword?
We have the
any
chalice.
of the, do we?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yes. Oh yeah, we have the chalice and we have the
orb or
left
something?
eye. The
Left
left
eye.
eye. You wouldn't happen to have a crown or a sword or a shield or a stone belonging to Saint Solara?
There's relics of sorts in the, Sippo's vaults. But correct me if I'm wrong, those sound like treasures of the Tin Isles.
Yes, and here is where I make a proposal to you as well. Maybe in a literal sense. You're a princess with gravitas, and you aspire to be queen of this land, and, well, if it avoids further bloodshed here among our forces, I am willing to see this put through, if, of course, the tailors are willing to participate for the right price. But these relics are important to me, as it is a way from preventing the Tin Isles into descending into warfare further, and restoring stability. And what better way to seal the deal between perhaps a future king and a future queen than a betrothal?
Silverheart just turns, like, she was paying attention to, like, all of you somewhat equally, sometimes the guard, and then on that she just kind of turns her head and just stares at McNeil like, what?
As does Diego, for that matter.
McNeil gave me a communication check.
Mm-hmm.
Seduction if you had it, but...
I'm all out
I've
of...
chopped liver.
I'm not trying...
Well, you're behind the wall, she can't see you very well.
I'm not trying to seduce her, I'm offering a political thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone got AP they want to help me with here?
No, I get fleeced. Now I'm getting screwed over.
Sure, you can have my last one.
Well, I'm afraid this is as much as it can go, I suppose.
Well, 12 would have made it. No, I'm just kidding. I have to roll for her.
Huh? I mean, she's probably got some pretty damn good bonuses, but still.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh.
tempting offer.
What is your reputation with militarists?
Give me a second. I'll have to add them all up.
Oddly
It's
enough,
probably not a huge
better
minus.
than mine.
I imagine it's not a huge minus. Is more the question because it is a pretty big
No.
gap.
So +1, 2, 1, 0, -1, 0, -1, 0, 1. Yeah, we're at +1.
Oh, there you go. If anything, your roll's easier.
Oh dearie, look at that roll. Oh dear.
Yeah. I was hoping for like a huge minus or something, but no, it's you've been fairly positive overall. Well, she sits back in her saddle a little bit, kind of looks up at the sky, and it seems to be pondering.
It is a matter for consideration, at least until we get you installed on the throne, first and foremost.
She sits forward and looks at you. Well, you must understand that a monarch does not deign to marry a commoner, and a noble would not deign to marry one too far below their station. A little is romantic, I suppose. But if you are a king, and I'm a queen, well, I think we can allow our gap in years be mended in the name of peace and prosperity.
And a global alliance between the Ten Isles, Gallia, Alamania, and Vitlu for the prosperity of the entire world, should we so choose.
Well, you didn't have to spoil it with the galleons. But I suppose.
Well, your younger brother should be marrying someone of the Emperor's family. It binds you together.
Well,
Diego,
we shall see what the weather brings and what sort of storms of war we have to endure.
You'll have a deal, princess, but I will need those relics in Elisipo.
Once we're within it, and it's in hand, I will show you the vaults myself. I'm quite curious if there's anything that you wish to have. And if we don't find anything of worth to you, specifically what you're looking for, I could see parting with one of them as a engagement gift. Well, promissory gift. Like, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, sorry. Silverheart just rolls her eyes and shakes her head like, what is happening?
Diego kind of coughs gently and says, as someone who is almost frighteningly certain that it's going to find himself on the sharp end of this operation, I'd like to gently suggest that a generous contribution for the rebuilding of LaSalle might be most welcome in the future. Certainly the citizens of LaSalle would welcome such a donation, and I'm sure the trading house of Borgia would be happy to convey such a donation home.
Communication roll.
Persuasion?
Yep. And she's a militarist, so that probably helps you quite a bit. Good thing no one's radicals. That would have just been like, turn around, just says, all right, we're fighting now.
If you don't count my militarist reputation, I have a great reputation with the radicals. So, okay.
I'm a radical moderate.
Yeah. Yeah, being moderate apparently is radical in this world.
So I'll have a total of +5 then. $18.
decent willpower here, but I don't think it's that big. This is what you rolled. Really don't. Oh, wrong number. Jeez. Me too weird. What'd you get?
18.
Oh, 17.
Wow, again.
Like I said, that's why I was worried about McNeil's number. It's like, her number's good. It ain't that good.
I'll just spend the 1 on impress in case I have to make another roll against her this encounter.
I will have a written out. She sits forward in her. She sits back on her saddle again.
Most generous, Your Highness. Most generous.
Oh, and one must not be allowed to say if Itlu is stingy.
None would dare, I think, Princess.
Not within cannon shot, anyway.
Quite right you are.
What did you get on your number? It's okay. She'll do this. I suppose I could write out a note for 10 gold to help with the funds, and perhaps in future with the new Continental system, Lysel can see itself benefiting from some bit of crown-sponsored reconstruction effort.
As I said, most generous, Your Majesty.
Young miss. Yes, princess. You know of the royal bank. Just have it withdrawn and make sure it's handed to him, yes? She bows. Not a very deep bow, you notice. It's just the slightest of bows.
Right.
Which
Well,
the princess kind of narrows her eyes at her, but leaves it alone.
that settles our affairs then?
I believe it does. I would enjoy this neutral little town with you, but I think it's not big enough for the two of us. I look forward to hearing new...
The people, I'm sure, Princess, would be somewhat less to your liking. They're quite bullheaded.
Searee's Cove for you. Silverheart gives a narrow back, and the princess turns away, doesn't look at her, and just rides back to her army. And in swift order, they begin. There's a slow reverberation of unsurety, and then some bugles are played, and then the armies start turning about and drawing from the area.
Well, Diego, get yourself back within the walls.
All right, rifles. Looks like we're standing down. Come back, get some hot food in you and some rest. And for
People start
God's
coming.
sakes, Harkins, get a bath.
I did, sir. A whole bucket.
I'll go over to Bianchi. Well, since you've gone through all the effort of putting this together, you can now go through the effort of dismantling it.
It's going to be like, well, as soon as you say that,
And that's what I hit him, Your Honor.
as soon as you say that, you get this very odd feeling that even though you're a captain, if you don't suddenly walk away, it's going to be a bad time for Cormac.
We'll walk away.
Diego will kind of stroll away in the company of Leona, just sort of chatting. And at some point, I need to read that letter about my gloves, whatever that means.
We'll make sure you're fitted before you leave the city. But
No,
I was
appreciate
thinking,
it.
we were thinking of getting you something to sharpen your tailoring skills, but apparently you're being given a most prestigious assignment to see 2 people in a suit. So if you do this, you'll be skipping a lot of the drudgery, I'll tell you that.
Oh, well, I'm not sure. I might not prefer the drudgery to this.
You and me
Can
both.
we have a quick officers meeting as well?
Sure.
Yep. Deanna heads back to Raven headquarters, essentially. As you guys, you have a sort of camp reassembled in Northgate, because this is where the entire army moved and it's like, oh, we're not fighting. It's gonna take us a bit to move again, so we'll just have the officer meeting here.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Well. Lieutenant Safwan, Lieutenant Diego Borgia was there with me. I'm sure he can give you the lowdown of it all later in person, or in private rather. But I'll tell him the short version of the story and what happened. So, what do you think?
I'll add that the lady does seem to be a constitutionalist.
So Floyd just kind of shakes his head. This is almost too
Not
good to be
quite-
true.
Not quite what you expected, is it, Lieutenant?
No, sir.
Would you mind getting Sergeant Bianchi in here, please?
Sergeant!
You just hear in the distance a chair being thrown across a room somewhere.
God damn it!
Walks in. Yes, Captain.
Sergeant, please stand at attention. I have some important news for you.
Oh,
Due
please.
to your efforts at organizing the city's defense, at trying to make good with the city guard, and building these defenses, I have seen it fit to elevate your stature. And if my other lieutenants are in agreement with this, I would grant you the rank of sous-lieutenant.
Well, it saves you the cost of a commission.
And you may choose whom you serve under, as far as I'm concerned. You have 4 very good lieutenants, 3 good lieutenants and 1 dame to serve under, should you wish.
I certainly have no objection. Bianchi went through the academy just like Dumas and I, and scored higher in some areas than we did.
Good engineers and, most of all, good soldiers are a commodity these days, and I like to preserve such talent where I can.
Captain, is it possible, after the last couple of days and the expense it's had to my wallet and my temperament, could I put in a request?
To have your money back.
Well, that's one of them.
I'll forward a note to Regimental Command to have.
I've seen Cormac's purse. It's not impressive.
Silence. I'll
The,
forward a letter to Regimental Command informing them of your expenditure on behalf of the company, and I'm sure they would be more than willing to reimburse you for your efforts.
Well, I appreciate that, Captain. That's the one of the requests. The main request is I'm going to be exceedingly cheeky and maybe above my station, but considering a captain and 2 lieutenants here, this might be the best time to ever do this. Could I have my own unit?
As a sous-lieutenant? Can't imagine how we'd assemble one.
As a sous-lieutenant as a company underneath a lieutenant, perhaps yes, you could.
What do you have in mind?
Well, the men I was going to be holding the gate with, and others I've worked with, other corporals, we are lacking a grenadier unit, and that is my speciality from the academy. So that's something I'd wish to offer to the 7th. A dedicated heavy unit.
Grenadier Guards on horse. Yeah, if that doesn't scream galleon, then I don't know what does. A condition for me, if I may be so bold as to give one back to you. I would grant it, depending on which lieutenant wishes to allow you to be under him. Furthermore, as a sign of good faith towards these people, ask if there are any volunteers from Vitlu or Seabreeze Cove who wish to join you in forming this new company.
Uh,
Captain,
uh,
Yes. Are we not allowed to have auxiliaries?
we are, but he'll merely be breveted unless he's actually gazetted by command.
Well-
It may be wiser to have a command auxiliary under yourself until such time that we can convince the marshal that this is a good idea. The Emperor has not seen fit to field grenadiers in this campaign, and
But my own personal guard is acceptable?
to a certain extent, I imagine you could get away with it. But eventually, you'll need to meet with the marshal and convince him of allowing a
well,
Sioux lieutenant to have their own unit.
well, what if we did it like this? Bianchi can form his unit, say squad size, even a heavy overstrength squad, as part of the rifles, already an experimental unit. It would give us potentially more of a punch in certain situations. Grenadiers traditionally have operated as a sort of light infantry. Might make the unit a more flexible. And the what is the light dragoons have already been granted an experimental writ by the Emperor.
But we have no horse grenadiers, is the worry.
They have their horses already. We'll merely style them as such for the time being. However, if there is a grenadier unit, I would request that you carry special equipment. Axes, primarily, for chopping down anything we need to chop down, be it men or gates. And if there are any savvy with black powder, I don't see why you shouldn't live up to the name of Grenadier, if we can fashion something.
That is something I can certainly abide to, sir.
What do you think, Lieutenant Safwan? Acceptable?
I'm not the one needing convincing, sir. It's the marshal who's gonna throw his wig out the window.
The marshal will come to terms with it eventually. We'll spin a very tall tale, and as with
Well,
all
if
tall
we deliver
tales-
the kingdom into the hands of, if it's our actions that deliver Queen
Queen
Arvinar.
Queen Callista
Yeah.
onto the throne, then perhaps the captain might jump into my arms out of joy.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, the marshal.
If I'm getting this correct from the briefing you both told myself and the lieutenant, we are to essentially kill the crown prince and the queen.
Yes, I know. Lovely, isn't it? A bit of court politicking.
Bit of
I mean-
regicide, more like.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure the marshal would be happy if I personally took out a crown prince.
Not to mention that I'd be happy to shoot from behind you. You could soak up a lot of damage.
I am a very big person.
I wouldn't start wetting my knickers yet. It's
But if
still
we
very early.
if we pull this off, I think we will be the marshal will be particularly well disposed toward us, and perhaps even more so with Bianchi's own personal connections with the Salon.
In any case, I'll
Hmm.
placate the marshal for now. Rest assured, he'll be happy. And I figure that this man is in need of a promotion.
Well, welcome to the Officer Corps, Luciano. It just gets more expensive from here on out.
And unfortunately, Sue Lieutenant, he nods at McNeil and looks over at Bianchi. Until such time as the 7th Corps gazettes you such, you'll be paying for your own men, so an experience you're sadly familiar with.
Yes, I've essentially been paying for the entire 7th Corps so far.
Oh,
Now, here's a reason why you are now a Sioux Lieutenant. In any case, pick someone that you will serve under, and you are free to form your company, and you are free to take auxiliary forces from here in Seabreeze if there are any volunteers that wish to join you.
Well, if Diego is willing to accept a side unit of quote unquote maybe grenadiers,
Uh,
I would be happy to
Heavy
accept
light
his offer.
dragoons, if nothing else.
Yes.
Keep in mind,
Heavy light.
keep in mind, I will be there will be
Medium.
there will be a
Medium
size
dragoons.
limit to your unit. Considering you are with Diego, I do not want the rifle company going over 50 men. So your maximum shall be 20, including you. Is that all right with you?
That should be enough to hold a situation if required.
If you can find 20 men who are willing to join you, then by all means, go and do it. But until that time, you are dismissed. And as for the two of you lieutenants, let's have a drink and celebrate.
Luciano, does the salon give you recruitment powers?
1 second.
I don't believe it does.
Yeah, I mean, I know constitutional order does, but I mean, that'd wind up you commanding some militarists, but we could recruit together.
No, so what they give me is a financial support, which is what I've been using for the entire unit,
Right.
and intellectual exchange. So the salons offer a platform for intellectual discourse, fostering creativity and innovation. Thus, any intelligence roll regarding a law check done in a salon receives a +3.
So, GM, could Diego assist Borgia in recruiting, since technically he's recruiting for a squad under my unit, with my militarist power?
He could assist, but you're the person who's walking around finding militarists and saying, hey, trust me.
Could I throw something out?
Hmm.
Oh, multiple things technically, but
Hmm.
so with the silvered glaive, essentially it's good at rallying people. So it's a good symbol. So when he goes recruiting, it's a look at me. I have a banner of the True Solara. And I'm willing to drop the 2 promissory notes I am offered, which is over 1,000.
You all right there, Rob? You all right there, Rob?
1,000. Like, one of them was essentially being like kind and civil to the citizens of the town in like a food and accommodation sharing with our troops.
Like, you can add stuff to make the check more likely to succeed. It's the reason why the recruitment's kind of relegated to powers is that it's a matter of loyalty. If you just throw a lot of money around, you just have people loyal to coin. You have mercenaries that you've personally hired. So morale can be an issue and discipline can be an issue. If you have someone through a power like the militarist power or the church power, those people are loyal because of a cause. So they're loyal to that. So you can make that. That said, Borgia, it isn't automatic. Borgia still has to do a roll to get them to find someone who he trusts, because not all militarists are Gallians or like Gallia to begin with. So it's a matter of finding people you know who are like, I believe in the cause more than my country, especially when you're in a foreign area. But you could hand them those things or use those things to help with the check. The promissory notes are way overkill. I'll tell you for free, that's money out the window for little gain. But your glaive and your banner would help. Well, the glaive more than the banner, because the banner's for church stuff, and the militarists are not very churchy.
Yeah, if that's the case, I'll help with the glaive then.
Yeah, so you would still do a roll, but you automatically giving a +1 because you're kind of helping display it for Borgia, and trying to drum up troops.
So is this a town or a city?
This is a notes. I think it's just a large town, regional town. I think it's regional town as opposed to a city. I think. Hold on.
So yeah, the maximum, for a town, I can recruit 3d6. I mean, the most I'm going to be able to get you is 18, but Neil gave you a limit of 20.
Yeah, so that'll pretty much fill it.
Yeah, assuming I roll decently, which I'm out of action points.
And you do not automatically engage in a mass combat encounter because you're not in a hostile city. Because you can try to sneak into a town and raise troops.
Right.
The problem is that if you do that and you haven't swapped them, they immediately get into combat.
Yeah, well, it's also like port town, so I think I would start in the areas where there might be some galleon sailors or somebody who got stuck, or that this is a fairly cosmopolitan town. It looks like so just make the target 15 roll.
Yep. Communication leadership or strength intimidation.
You go with communication leadership for sure. A +1. Join the army. It's fucking great. Look how little we have to fight and how much we have to gain.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm reading my thing. See, normally that roll, the TN is if you're doing it in a hostile area, but if you're doing it in a friendly place, you don't need to do that. Because it was different when you were recruiting people out of
Right.
Shellstrand, because that was a hostile city that it's like mass combat. There's no enemy soldiers here. You win. Whereas Seabreeze Cove is actually neutral to you.
Okay. So did I just roll the total number?
I suppose so. I'm trying to think why I would say no to that. Don't see a great reason. Yeah, just roll. Never mind.
There you go, 3d6. Wish me luck. Sorry, Bob.
Well, I'll take 8 people.
We can try again in the next place too. Beef you up.
So, pull over to the 7th Corps map first. So, Luciana moves here. I have to move someone GM layer. And breveted Sioux Lieutenant. But you still have to get the Marshal to be okay with this. Changes this number.
Bacon, salad, lettuce, tomato. Hell yeah.
Sounds like a decent sandwich.
Oh God! Now I'm remembering the best BLT I ever had. It was at Sundance Resort in Park City. Oh my God! It was just amazing. I don't know what it was about it that made it so amazing, but I still obviously remember that BLT to this day.
There is nothing like a good BLT.
I know. It was just perfect.
And to give you a bit of linguistic here, there's the squadron is both companies,
Right.
and then so you're hoping that Luciano gets to form his own troop, basically, of grenadiers attached to the elite company. Because you're at troop level here to have like 50 or so people.
That is the official hope. But for now, until we manage to straighten out everything, and until we can get him promoted further to a full-fledged lieutenant, he is attached to someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lot higher than he thought he would get, so he's not going to complain.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't roll better for you there, but
No, like I said, it's better than no one.
we can add to it as we go along.
And what would actually happen as well is that if Luciano goes up, like actually gets moved up, eventually gets up to a full lieutenancy and gets to make this. I don't think you'd kick out. Well, you could move. He'd either move into a lieutenant under Rousseau's command, or he'd push Safwan over to the 5th Company, and then he would take up this slot. Because the thing is, you as Captain McNeil are only allowed so many soldiers under your command.
Right, of course, yeah. Being under Rousseau is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Safwan and I have a history anyway.
So things to consider down the line. We'll figure that out once you actually get the marshal to be okay with this. But just letting you know that there's multiple steps that we'll have to figure out here in time.
Once we all get promotions.
Yeah. All right. So, also saying that for the VOD record as well, because I'll need to look this back up later, because this is a brain. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. So you've won the city. Well, you've repelled what would have been an invasion. Didn't have to fight. It's a hooray. In time, one hopes, we will be hearing from Dom Rousseau and Lieutenant Dumas. Was the last thing I'll have. Safwan will actually want to speak with McNeil in private. At night.
Sure. I'll welcome him, in my chambers, I guess.
And he'll say, Captain.
Yes.
If I may speak plainly.
We're off duty. Please take off your hat, sit, relax, speak freely.
He takes off his hat and tucks it under his arm. He continues standing, but he stands a little more relaxed.
Go ahead.
Captain, I appreciate that you're giving Bianchi a chance to get beyond himself, his station. He's a good man, and I remember what he did back in LaSalle, and a lot of people in LaSalle do. And being honest, I think the troops won't mind him going up. They won't mind saluting him. I mean, some will be a little prickly about it, especially the more monarchical types. But we have an uphill battle. The rest of the 7th Corps are not people of LaSalle.
Oh, I know. Frankly, I know. So what do you propose?
I propose that that he be mentored in the ways that the academy. Well, I heard that he wasn't treated very well in the academy, and despite his marks, he's been treated as an engineer of pressed into service. I don't know what it is that Gallia seems to have against the Castilians. In Lumerburg, it wasn't that big a deal to me whether someone came from the peninsula or not. But I get the feeling that in the officer corps, he's going to run into trouble. And in time, he may even take my posting under your command. And I won't mind that. But others are going to mind that a man who himself is not a gentleman was elevated.
Well, maybe they'll mind him not being a gentleman, but surely being elevated because of things that you did will garner you some respect, at the very least.
Oh, constitutionalists won't mind it so much.
You're worried about the crownlings.
And the radicals. Mind you, the radicals would have us operate an entirely different system.
Well, Lieutenant, there are, I imagine, more than a dozen people who would want to take my head right now at any given moment, should an opportunity be presented to it. Yet I think in order to learn how to swim, one must first drown a bit, if you understand what I'm saying. It will be a trial by fire, obviously, but I'm hoping that this trial will help him become a better man, force him into this role of command, which I think he has talent for.
The difference between us and him, sir, is the fact that we were given a boat. We're telling him to swim. Mind you, he does have friends in high places, so maybe someone will buy him a boat. But I would worry that if he becomes too dependent on the salon, I don't know how much he will be willing to turn and shield you from them.
Ah, yes. The internal struggles of these salons truly do fascinate me. As well as us handing over this much political power in the hands of assassins posing as tailors, but I'm afraid our choices are limited, are they not?
They are. I just wanted you to be alerted that galleons can be very opinionated.
I understand that, but time will be the best teller of what Bianchi can achieve. If it's on his own, well, then he has a very bright future ahead of him, I think. If he needs help, I'm sure he is not too prideful and he will ask for it. As for the two of us, I understand that there have been problems when when the head magistrate was, or the chief magistrate. You know what happened with her, right? Are we all right now, Lieutenant?
For the sake of good order and discipline, I don't think it's wise of me to actually answer that.
You may think what you want to think, but let me at least express my opinion here, Lieutenant Safwan. I think that despite our differences, even back in my cell, I know we didn't hit it off at first, but you are a damn good soldier and a damn good officer, and I wouldn't trade you if I had the chance. I just hope you realize that.
I do, sir.
Very well, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And do forgive an old man for his misjudgments sometimes. This whole warfare business is quite new to me.
I am quite used to getting orders from old men who don't know how to wage warfare. But you know more of it than they do, so there's that at least. And you're no coward. That I'll give you, definitely. I've seen plenty of those in Lumerburg.
Well, sadly, it is the corpses of young men which shape the battlefield and not old men such as myself. I fear that old men such as myself are more destined for a chair than they are for the field of battle. But here we are. Do keep an eye out on the young Lieutenant, will you? I have faith in Diego that he will teach him in the right ways, but should he ever stumble, pick him up and show him the right way.
Give me perception empathy here. He's about to leave, but you might catch on to what he's drilling at.
Okay. 13.
Now that he's confronted you and asked you about this, and you've traded here, you get the feeling that he seems to be worried that you're playing with Bianchi, and he's not trying to help you out. He's trying to make sure Bianchi isn't being screwed by you. But it seems with what you just said, he doesn't say it, but he does seem to be less placated. Yeah. Maybe a little less hostile. Like the fact that you're looking out for Bianchi in your way makes him less angry with you.
Well, dismissed.
Captain. He's on. But good gracious me. I am glad you did not have to do that fight. It was possible you could win it. Mass combat has a weird way of doing things. You were in a defensible position. You guys did a lot of preparation. So you could have won. But you found the sure victory. And
got engaged.
And yeah, it made a deal that I'm sure
engaged to be engaged.
Engaged to be engaged.
Engaged to be betrothed to be engaged.
So the web that you weave and the deals that you've done will hopefully decide the fate of Vitlu to your favor.
Boy, this character is going in entirely different directions than I thought he would.
I wasn't sure what deals you all were going to take. Unfortunately, one of you is poorer for this less martial path you've taken.
But one of us is far richer, so it's okay.
Please,
Yes.
guys, true richness comes from love, and love today was abound.
My wallet disagrees.
So with that, the next episode, we will probably look into the army as it arrives in Seabreeze Cove, because it will catch up to you. And there are various matters of core intrigue that you're going to need to deal with before you carry forth beyond Coral Haven and indeed to Olisipo. Never mind the aftermath of what happened to that the engagement with the 10 Island Sailors. So that'll all be resolved next time. For all of you watching, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. I hope to see you all again next week. Bye. Oh, my aching head. It's fun, but when things aren't straightforward. But I did this to myself. I could have just had you fight wolves. Could have had you fight, but no. People have to do deals and backstab and assassinate. Things
as soon as that offer came up for promotion, I had to take my chance.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, I had to placate you somehow as well.
So just some bookkeeping. How many weeks have we been in the field from when we left whatever the town this Corps originally landed in?
Shellstrand, I think.
You left Shellstrand, what was it? 1, 2... Took you 3 days to get there. Day or so for stuff to happen. Plus another 3 days after that?